World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 51, Threefold Body Refining. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Shang Tiān smiled. You killed the thousand-eyed Divine Lord this time, forcing both the Six Lords Alliance and Yunbao Tower to offer apologies and compensation. Who would dare to come after me now? Luo Feng chuckled. The Shi Kingdom faction's decision to spare Shang Tiān while arresting other formation masters clearly signaled their stance. This Shi Kingdom faction keeps trying to befriend me, Luo Feng thought. President Xuanhuan has visited me multiple times, and they spared Shang Tiān this time. They clearly value me. But eventually, the Shi Kingdom and I will stand on opposite sides. When it comes to the grudge between my master and the Shi Kingdom, I will always stand by my master, Zuo Shank. I'll be going now. Contact me if anything comes up, Luo Feng said. If I'm in closed-door cultivation and you have an urgent matter, you can contact Luo Sa. Alright, Shang Tiān nodded. Soon, Luo Feng and Morosa quietly left the Tiān sect and headed for the Yangfeng Pavilion. Whoosh. Inside a small building at the Yangfeng Pavilion, the Pavilion Master personally received Luo Feng. Brother Luo He, you've caused quite a stir today, Pavilion Master said with a hearty laugh. You forced the Six Lords Alliance and Yunbao Tower to pay a staggering 1 million cosmic sand in compensation. I bet every faction in Huyang City is talking about it. It's a minor matter, Luo Feng said. I'm here today to place an order for a batch of refining materials. Place an order. Pavilion Master and the Vice Pavilion Master, a figure shrouded in gray mist beside him, were both surprised. The Yangfeng Pavilion had a vast inventory and could even coordinate with other merchant guilds in the city. Therefore, they rarely needed pre-orders, materials could usually be acquired in the time it took to say a few words. Luo Feng nodded and sent a detailed order via his Dark Hall communication token. Based on our Yangfeng Pavilion's prices, an order like this would cost 3,650,000 cosmic sand. The Vice Pavilion Master exclaimed in astonishment. There are relatively few rare and precious refining materials here, most are common ones. However, the sheer quantity exceeds the entire combined inventory of Huyang City. The combined inventories of Huyang City's merchant guilds were indeed immense. But Luo Feng only needed a few specific types of materials, and in a staggering quantity worth 3,650,000 cosmic sand. How long will it take? Luo Feng asked. Our Yangfeng Pavilion receives shipments every 10 days, the Vice Pavilion Master explained with a smile. The next delivery is in 2 days. At that time, the goods will be sent directly to our pavilion via space-time teleportation. Pavilion Master added, Brother Luo He, your order is quite special. The quantity is too large to be sourced from nearby cities. Space-time teleportation is the most convenient method for delivery. Alright, here's 3.65 million cosmic sand. Luo Feng took out a jade bottle he had prepared. Fortunately, he had acquired a sum from the Six Lords Alliance and Yunbao Tower, allowing him to afford this expense. The Vice Pavilion Master took it and said, in 2 days, I will personally deliver the goods to Lord Luo He's cave mansion. I'm sorry to trouble you, Vice Pavilion Master, Luo Feng said, nodding. An order of a few million cosmic sand was insignificant to the Yangfeng Pavilion headquarters. Even massive orders of hundreds of millions, billions, or tens of billions of cosmic sand were merely small business for them. His master, Zuo Shank, as a god king skilled in artifact refining, had naturally conducted some transactions with the Yangfeng Pavilion. God king level transactions were far larger in scale than Luo Feng's. Therefore, Luo Feng paid the advance payment without hesitation. After paying, Luo Feng took his leave. An eternal true god purchasing such a vast quantity of artifact refining materials. The Vice Pavilion Master wondered. I consider myself well versed in the world, yet I still can't understand what Lord Luo He is planning. Pavilion Master was also puzzled. Piled up, these materials would be several times larger than my infinite divine body. Could he be planning to refine a super large-scale mechanical stream secret treasure? He is close with Shang Tiān, so he might also be an expert in artifact refining. Perhaps he intends to become a chaos master through the path of artifact refining. The Vice Pavilion Master speculated. Does he need to refine a large number of secret treasures to build up his foundation? Artifact refining, alchemy, formations, illusion techniques. Different paths, all with the potential to reach the level of Chaos Master. The materials Luo Feng purchased were so vast, far exceeding what any normal body refinement would require, that they naturally aroused numerous speculations from Pavilion Master and the Vice Pavilion Master. Marquis Luyin of the Shi Kingdom has dispatched Yu Tianyu and Yu Tianyi to Huyang City, Pavilion Master said. Now, the Shi Kingdom faction has 3 powerhouses in Huyang City, Shuiyun, Yu Tianyu, and Yu Tianyi. With the 3 of them gathered together, they couldn't possibly be doing nothing. They must have a grand plan. The capture of the 8 formation masters was just the catalyst. The conflict will only intensify from here, the Vice Pavilion Master added. However, it's clear that the Shi Kingdom faction doesn't want to provoke Luo He. I hope the struggle between the Yu Kingdom and the Shi Kingdom in Huyang City doesn't destroy this city, Pavilion Master said, shaking his head. Even a mere ripple from the conflict between 2 great nations could cause countless casualties. The river of time flows endlessly forward, with countless beings born and countless beings dying at every moment, the Vice Pavilion Master said. One must step out of the river and stand calmly on the shore, observing everything. Second uncle, stop trying to sound like the clan elders, the Pavilion Master said with a smile. You're just an eternal true god. The Vice Pavilion Master pouted and walked aside, continuing to review the pavilion's business. 2 days later. The Vice Pavilion Master personally visited and delivered the massive quantity of materials worth 3.65 million cosmic sand. Thank you for your hard work, Vice Pavilion Master, Luo Feng said as he saw the other man off. It's a good thing we have a super large merchant guild like the Yangfeng Pavilion. If I had to rely on those small merchant guilds to gather all the materials worth 3.65 million cosmic sand, it would have been 1,000 or even 10,000 times more troublesome, Luo Feng thought. What was an easy task for the Yangfeng Pavilion would likely take a small merchant guild an entire epoch to accomplish. The space-time cargo teleportation alone could send goods directly from the Yangfeng Ancient Kingdom to its Huyang City branch. This type of space-time cargo teleportation was locked to each specific branch. Only the 2 great ancient kingdoms on the entire origin continent possessed such a capability. At this moment, Morosa was guiding Moyu Qingyan in comprehending the laws when Luo Feng approached them. Master. Morosa and Moyu Qingyan both greeted him respectfully. I'm preparing to enter secluded cultivation for a period of time, Luo Feng said. Secluded cultivation. Morosa and Moyu Qingyan were secretly delighted. With Luo Feng in closed-door cultivation, they would be free. During my cultivation, I will cut off all communication and will not be disturbed. If there is a truly urgent matter, only then should you notify me, Morosa, Luo Feng instructed. Yes, Master, Morosa replied. As Luo Feng's sole servant, he could communicate through telepathy. After speaking, Luo Feng entered the underground hall alone, summoned the Star Tower, and went inside to begin his cultivation, officially starting his 3rd body refinement. Time flowed by. The undercurrents in Huyang City surged ever more violently, and conflicts broke out one after another. All the factions in the city sensed that this struggle between the City Lord's mansion and the Shi Kingdom faction was unlike any before. One day, Moli Meng personally arrived at the main entrance of Luo Feng's cave mansion. Vice City Lord Moli, I told you already, Morosa said, having just woken up. Now that Moyu Qingyan had returned home, he had to open the door himself. My master is in closed-door cultivation and will see no one. Moli Meng said urgently, I have an urgent matter. Can you contact your master? How urgent? Morosa asked. Is Shang Tianyan about to die? Is Huyang City about to be destroyed? The City Lord's mansion wishes to see Lord Luo He and ask for his assistance, Moli Meng said. Morosa shook his head repeatedly. My master's orders are clear, unless it's an earth-shattering event, absolutely no one is allowed to disturb him. The City Lord's mansion is asking for help. What a trivial matter. He wouldn't dare disturb his master over such a trifle. Moli Meng stared at Morosa. Morosa stared back with a simple-minded expression. Very well. Moli Meng had no other choice. After all, while his master was in closed-door cultivation, only this servant could contact Lord Luo He. Even the other servant, Moyu Qingyan, couldn't reach him. The moment your master emerges from cultivation, contact me immediately, Moli Meng commanded. You can count on it, Morosa promised. As soon as my master comes out, I will inform him of this matter right away. Moli Meng could only leave in frustration. No matter how much the outside world churned, Luo Feng focused solely on his body refinement. The 3rd body refinement of the Chaos Great Strength diagram, the highest level for eternal true gods, utilized numerous law profundities and imposed an extremely high demand on one's realm. This was not just body refinement, but a form of cultivation in its own right. Luo Feng had prepared tens of thousands of cosmic sand materials specifically for practice. Once he was fully prepared, Luo Feng officially began the 3rd stage of body refinement. Luo Feng's divine body was like a super large-scale weapon secret treasure. The reason this super large-scale secret treasure was so powerful was primarily due to its immense size. Its actual level of intricacy was quite ordinary. Now, Luo Feng was as if engraving a miniature painting on an embroidery needle, further refining the entire super large-scale weapon secret treasure. For a single original formation pattern, Luo Feng might need to add several auxiliary formation patterns to make its operation even more perfect. Although he understood the process, he still had to refine it step by step with patience. Body refinement was incredibly tedious. This was mainly because Luo Feng's perfect divine body was so vast, making the work exponentially more complex. Luo Feng continued for over 30,000 days before finally succeeding. One day on the Origin continent spanned roughly one Earth year. On Earth, this meant he had been refining his body for over 30,000 years. This was only possible because Luo Feng's powerful will was incredibly efficient, otherwise, it would have taken much longer. This showed just how colossal the body refinement was. It's done. Luo Feng looked at his divine body. After threefold body refinement, its profoundness could rival that of some ordinary eternal true God secret treasures. But this was a secret treasure with a height of 18 billion kilometers. Luo Feng simply clenched his fist, and boom, the terrifying aftershocks rippled through this space. Even without burning my divine power, I could easily tear apart a Huyang legion with my bare fists, Luo Feng mused inwardly. Only after reaching this stage have I truly tapped into the potential of the perfect divine body at the eternal true God level. As for even stronger body refinement, that would be the Chaos Realm. This was something eternal true gods could not achieve. Even if they occasionally comprehended one or two powerful techniques, body refinement at the Chaos Realm required a realm too high. Even after mastering the Chaos laws, one still needed to obtain an inheritance and study it carefully to learn Chaos Realm body refinement. With my current divine body, how powerful would I be if I unleashed the Duan Mie technique to burn my divine power? Luo Feng himself wasn't entirely sure. In the 20 epochs since he had arrived on the Origin continent, he had also made great progress with the Duan Mie technique. Looking across the entire Origin continent, it's probably rare to find an eternal true god who can rival me, Luo Feng thought. Perhaps some were slightly stronger than him in terms of realm, but his advantage in terms of divine body was unquestionable. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 52, The City Lord's Mansion's Higher. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. My divine body has reached a temporary bottleneck, Luo Feng thought. Next, I need to focus on two things. First, cultivating the Lai Yuan technique to break through my will as soon as possible. Second, I need to deepen my understanding of laws and first comprehend a few Chaos Realm techniques. Comprehending the Chaos laws was not something that could be achieved overnight. It required continuous accumulation. One had to first comprehend a few Chaos Realm techniques, and then, after a long period of accumulation, a sudden epiphany would lead to the complete comprehension of the Chaos laws. Those on the bloodline cultivation path can use bloodline transformation to achieve the Chaos Realm, Luo Feng mused. But for me, the only path is to comprehend the Chaos laws through insight. I have already perfected the Chaos Great Strength diagram, world severing 9 blades, and 9 nightmares realm at the eternal true God level. There are still aspects of Donghua and Duan Mie I haven't fully grasped at this level, and the Lai Yuan technique has even more room for improvement. With a single thought, Luo Feng resumed the Great Destruction heart refining technique to continue tempering his will. Though it seemed agonizing, his mental will had long since adapted. Whoosh. While continuing to temper his will, Luo Feng's divine body returned to its normal state, and he immediately emerged from the Star Tower. Rumble tilde tilde tilde. As the doors to the underground hall swung open, Morosa and Moyu Qingyan, who were inside the cave dwelling, immediately rushed forward to greet him. Master. Luo Feng's perfect divine body could completely conceal all his aura. Neither Morosa nor Moyu Qingyan could sense any changes in him. Qingyan, weren't you at home keeping your father company? Luo Feng said with a smile. The moment you went into closed-door cultivation, Master, he went back to be with his father and 2 brothers, Morosa said from the side, chuckling. But not long after, he fled back here. Fled back? Luo Feng asked in surprise. Moyu Qingyan could only explain, my eldest brother also got married recently. With both my eldest and 3rd brothers married, they've been trying to set me up. Many female cultivators have even come to my door on their own. I was so overwhelmed that I had no choice but to flee back here. Many female cultivators came to your door on their own. Luo Feng smiled. Just how many is, many? Quite a lot, actually. A few bold ones even came to Master's cave dwelling, Morosa chuckled. Later, Qingyan asked me to deal with them, and I scared them all off. I have no interest in matters of the heart. I only wish to comprehend the 10 fundamental laws as quickly as possible, Moyu Qingyan said. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. That's true. Once you become a void true god, you'll have an endless lifespan. There's no need to rush into romance. When you meet someone you truly like, your heart will tell you. Moyu Qingyan listened, but his resolve remained firm. He had no desire to get involved in such matters. Luo Feng then asked, did anything major happen in Huyang City while I was in closed-door cultivation? Did Shang Tianyan run into any trouble? His life is as carefree as ever, no one would dare touch him, Marosa said. But Huyang City itself has been in turmoil. The City Lord's mansion and the Shi Kingdom faction have clashed several times, with significant casualties on both sides. Luo Feng nodded. The biggest commotion, however, was about Gao Wushui. That Commander Gao Wushui actually turned against his own family, Marosa added with a chuckle. What happened to him? Luo Feng asked curiously. Gao Wushui was Mo Lishao's favorite disciple and had once tried to capture Mei Wuqi. Luo Feng still held a relatively good opinion of the commander. Gao Wushui was originally an ordinary member of the Gao Wu family, long marginalized. Later, he proactively joined the Huyang Legion as a common soldier. He caught the eye of Commander Mo Lishao, who cultivated him with all his power, allowing him to advance rapidly and become an eternal true god, Marosa explained. Not long ago, the Gao Wu family patriarch, Gao Wuwei, invited Gao Wushui to a banquet. But during the meal, Gao Wushui suddenly turned on him, calling in the Huyang guard to arrest the patriarch and many core members of the Gao Wu family, even his own father. He arrested all the high-ranking members of his own family and then publicly declared that Gao Wuwei had defected to the Shi Kingdom faction, Marosa remarked with a sigh. That is the grave crime of treason. Gao Wushui was clearly trying to have these family leaders executed. In fact, not long after the patriarch was captured, he was put to death. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. Gao Wushui left his family at a young age. His ties to them were always very weak. Even so, such a ruthless move against his own family still shocked everyone in Huyang City, Marosa said. They all suspect that Gao Wushui fabricated the charges on purpose. You're quite well informed, Luo Feng teased. I hear a lot of things while eating and drinking around town, Marosa replied. Oh, by the way, Deputy City Lord Moli came to visit and asked me to have you contact him as soon as you came out of seclusion. Moli Meng. Luo Feng nodded and immediately sent a message to Moli Meng. Just a moment later, Mo Lishao and Moli Meng arrived together to personally visit Luo Feng. Please, have a seat, Luo Feng said, sitting in the peak pavilion. Moyu Qingyan was beside him, pouring wine, and some rare fruits had already been laid out. I presume Lord Luo he knows that the Shi Kingdom faction has been causing trouble in Huyang City recently, Mo Lishao said as he sat down. Our City Lord's mansion is also quite troubled by this. Today, as a representative of the City Lord's mansion, I have come to ask for Lord Luo he's help. Ask for my help. Luo Feng shook his head. I have no grudge against the Shi Kingdom faction. Why should I get involved? Mo Lishao nodded. I understand. Most of the local families in Huyang City are unwilling to get involved, fearing their families will suffer retaliation from the Shi Kingdom. But Lord Luo he, you only have 2 servants and no other ties. Why should you fear the Shi Kingdom faction? Lord Luo he, you are an eternal true god. The chaos masters of the Shi Kingdom cannot bully the weak. And facing just some eternal true gods, Lord Luo he, you surely wouldn't mind. Just because I'm not afraid of them doesn't mean I'm willing to fight them to the death, Luo Feng refused. We are sincere in asking for your help, Lord Luo he, Mo Lishao said. You only need to help guard a location for no more than 1 epoch. In return, we are willing to offer 1 million cosmic sand. Guard for an epoch. Luo Feng shook his head. Too long. 1 million cosmic sand. I can get my hands on that with a little effort. It's not very appealing. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a full epoch, Mo Lishao explained. Once the Shi Kingdom makes its move, if you help us defend the key area, the mission will be considered complete. Luo Feng replied, you should know that 1 million cosmic sand means little to me. Indeed, Mo Lishao admitted. In a single day, Lord Luo he forced the 6 Lords Alliance and Yunbao Tower to pay 1 million cosmic sand. But the resources our City Lord's mansion can mobilize are limited. I need a vial of black marsh poison, Luo Feng said. If you're willing to provide it, I'll help. Otherwise, you'd best find someone else. Black marsh poison. Mo Lishao was surprised. Lord Luo he knows that the Yu Kingdom produces black marsh poison. I've heard of it, Luo Feng replied. The information provided by his master, Zuo Shenk, and the intelligence from Duan Donghai's lineage had given Luo Feng a comprehensive understanding of most of the ancient existences across the various nations of the origin continent. He also knew that some of the Yu Kingdom's specialties, including black marsh poison, were particularly suitable for him. Black marsh poison contained a terrifying toxin, but if consumed in extremely small quantities, it could be used to temper and sharpen one's mental will. As the producing nation, the Yu Kingdom could obtain black marsh poison at a relatively low cost. However, it was primarily supplied to the scions of the origin continent's major clans and rarely made its way to the large cities. If Luo Feng wanted to purchase it, he would usually have to pay a price several times higher than the standard cost. I will discuss this with the city lord, Mo Lixiao said. His divine power incarnation within the city lord's mansion was already discussing the matter with his other companions. Before long, black marsh poison is a specialty of the Qumeng royal family. The city lord has promised to apply for 1 unit of it for you, Mo Lixiao announced. Good, Luo Feng nodded. Where do I need to be stationed? Mo Lixiao smiled. So, Lord Luo he can be persuaded after all, provided the conditions are right. I will take you there, Mo Lixiao said, nodding. Beside him, Mo Limeng also revealed a smile. Inside the city lord's mansion. The Huyang city lord, the white-haired elder, Mo Lixiao's divine power incarnation, and a one-horned man sat separately. Luo he shows no fear of our 5 great families, nor has he ever feared the Shi Kingdom faction. A powerhouse with no ties like him is quite easy to hire, the Huyang city lord said with a smile. However, his knowledge of black marsh poison suggests he is also quite well informed. With such strength, he must have had some fortuitous encounters, the white-haired elder remarked. With him joining us, our defensive forces at the 3 forbidden zones will be more than sufficient, with no weak points left. No one witnessed him kill Ying Kang, his strength might not be as high as you imagine, the one-horned man said calmly. In my opinion, there's no need to let Luo he join. The city lord's mansion may be weaker in strength, but it's far more reliable. Mo Lixiao, sitting beside them, explained, we've studied Luo he's temperament, and he's still trustworthy. Besides, not a single one of the 3 forbidden zones can be lost. Very well. After all, it is your 5 great families who are responsible for Huyang City. Once I've helped you resolve this matter, I will return to the royal capital, the one-horned man said. We are grateful for your efforts, General Yang. The Huyang City Lord, the white-haired elder, and Mo Lixiao were all extremely polite. In the ancient royal capital of the Yu Kingdom, the single-horned man commanded an entire army. At the eternal true god level, he was considerably stronger than Mo Lixiao. Because god kings rarely deployed chaos masters directly, they typically sent subordinates like General Yang, an exceptionally powerful eternal true god, to handle such tasks. If I weren't occupied with the Shi Kingdom faction, I'd really like to test Lord Luo He's strength, the single-horned man remarked with a sigh, then rose and departed with a smile. Fortunately, General Yang understands that the mission comes first, Huyang City Lord said, shaking his head in relief. Otherwise, he might have started a fight with Lord Luo He before we even faced the Shi Kingdom faction, which would have been a complete joke. General Yang has earned the God King's trust for a reason. He knows how to prioritize, the white-haired elder added with a smile. A critical area of Huyang City, this place was garrisoned by the Jinhu Legion, one of the city's 10 great legions. A flying boat descended into a building within the legion's camp. 5 figures emerged, Mo Lixiao, Mo Limeng, Luo Feng, and his 2 servants. The Jinhu Legion's garrison camp. Luo Feng asked in surprise. Is this the place I'm supposed to defend? Yes, Mo Lixiao replied. While it looks like a mere camp, it's actually one of Huyang City's forbidden zones. On the surface, there's only 1 legion, but in reality, 2 Huyang Guard detachments are hidden here. With your help, brother Luo He, it will be enough to hold this position. Luo Feng looked at the building before him, sensing a much denser aura emanating from its depths. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 3 figures rushed over, General Jin Xiao of the Jinhu Legion and 2 Huyang Guard commanders. Commander, General Jin Xiao and the 2 Huyang Guard commanders saluted respectfully. They also noticed Mo Limeng, Luo Feng, and the 2 servants. From now on, Lord Luo He will also be stationed here, Mo Lixiao said. You can proceed with the original plan. Lord Luo He is free to move about the camp as he pleases. Yes, the 3 of them replied in unison. Luo Feng looked at them, his gaze lingering for a moment on one of the Huyang Guard commanders, Gao Wushui. It seemed he and Gao Wushui shared quite a connection. Hurry and deliver the things you promised, or I'll leave, Luo Feng urged. Rest assured, no one will be left out, especially not you, Commander Mo Lixiao said with a smile. Beside him, General Jin Xiao and the 2 Huyang Guard commanders secretly marveled. The supreme commander of the Huyang Legion was usually very stern, yet he was being incredibly polite and friendly to Lord Luo He. The 3 of them also understood that the Jinhu Legion, even with the 2 Huyang Guard units, would likely be no match for Lord Luo He alone. Lord Luo He was the most critical defensive force in this location. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 53, Attack Under the Cover of Night. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Commander Mo Lishao instructed, the three of you must keep the news of Divine Lord Luohe's stationing here strictly confidential. Yes. General Jin Shao and the two Huyang Guard commanders replied respectfully. They had been assigned here because they were highly trusted. Brother Luohe, I have already arranged a residence for you within the Legion camp. Commander Mo Lishao led the way, walking out of the building to an elegant cave dwelling nearby. After all, a Huyang Legion consisted of over 20 million true gods, so the Legion camp was naturally immense. The ordinary soldiers only knew this was a Legion camp and were unaware of its true significance. Not bad. Luo Feng looked at the cave dwelling before him. Arranging such a dwelling within a military camp spanning hundreds of millions of kilometers was quite rare. The soldiers' living conditions were much worse, and they stayed within the Legion's mechanical secret treasures while on duty. If you need anything, Brother Luohe, just let me know, Mo Lishao said. But you must not leave the camp. After all, the Shi Kingdom faction could attack at any time. Rest assured, I will honor my promise, Luo Feng nodded. In that case, we shall take our leave. With a smile, Mo Lishao departed, accompanied by Mo Limeng. Luo Feng looked at the cave dwelling, which was only about 10,000 kilometers in length and width. It wasn't large, but it was quite exquisite. From today on, the three of us will live here. Yes, Master, Morosa and Moyu Qingyan replied. 5 days later, Mo Limeng delivered the black marsh poison. Lord Luohe, this black marsh poison is a potent venom produced by a chaos-level exotic beast. If you consume it yourself, you must be extremely careful. Start by consuming no more than a single drop at a time. Mo Limeng said solemnly as he handed a pot of black marsh poison to Luo Feng. If one consumes too much, it is highly likely to prove fatal. The city lord's mansion was currently employing Lord Luohe. If he were to accidentally poison himself to death with the black marsh poison, it would become a laughingstock. Rest assured. Having received the two lineage inheritance, Luo Feng knew exactly how to use the black marsh poison. According to his estimation, the soul nurtured by his perfect divine body was already powerful, and his mental will far exceeded that of a normal eternal true god. He suspected that taking too little of the black marsh poison would have no effect at all. From then on, Luo Feng lived in seclusion within the Jinhu Legion's camp. The Jinhu Legion and the two Huyang Guard units continued their normal rotations, and the ordinary members remained completely unaware of the location's significance. Only those at the level of Legion General and Vice General, or Huyang Guard Commander and Vice Commander, were privy to the secret. Whoosh. Gao Wushui piloted his flying vessel back to his clan's dwelling. Naturally, a deputy commander stood guard while he rested. Clan leader. Clan leader. Inside the Gao Wu family's cave dwelling, the numerous family members who saw Gao Wushui bowed with utmost respect. As the family's only eternal true god, Gao Wushui's ruthlessness, having practically wiped out the previous high-ranking members, made his deterrent power within the clan unimaginable. Who in the entire clan did not fear him? With a cold expression, Gao Wushui headed to an underground prison within the family's grounds. The guards there were extremely respectful. Leave for now. Gao Wushui ordered. The guards withdrew. Commander Gao Wushui, you actually deigned to visit me. Inside the prison, a man bound in chains laughed. You killed the clan leader and many clan elders. Why not kill me as well? Do you still hold on to some so-called father-son sentiment? You've been imprisoned all this time, yet you still haven't figured it out. How disappointing, Gao Wushui said coldly. What are you disappointed about? You want me, your father, to kneel and beg you. The man's face contorted with rage. You only exist because of the clan, you traitor. You have 109 children, Gao Wushui replied calmly. And I was merely the result of your fleeting passion with a maidservant. I never saw you once after I was born. Later, I left the clan alone to make my way in the world, and then joined the Huyang Legion. It was only after my master took me in as his disciple that you, my so-called father, finally noticed me for the first time. That was our first meeting, Gao Wushui sneered. Only then did you learn about the injustices I suffered within the clan, and how my mother, your maidservant, died silently and forgotten. Only after I became the disciple of Commander Mo Lishao did you start repenting, only then did you realize you had wronged my mother. Where were you when I was a child? Where were you when my mother died? How dare you speak of father-son bonds? I am still your father. The man snarled, his face contorted. Without me, you wouldn't even exist. My growth was entirely due to the painstaking effort my master poured into nurturing me, Gao Wushui replied. As for what you contributed, it was nothing more than a moment of passion. It was only when I became an eternal true god that the clan suddenly knew how to curry favor with me. After you became an eternal true god, the clan treated you well enough, didn't they? The clan leader always treated you with great respect when meeting you, didn't he? The man demanded angrily. Yet look at what you've done. Respect me. Gao Wushui shook his head. At first, he just put on a show. But at that banquet, he actually tried to make me act as a mole for the Shi kingdom. I never would have guessed that the clan leader, a mere eternal true god, would collude with the Shi kingdom. You're slandering him. The man retorted. I have no need for slander at a time like this, Gao Wushui said. If I had agreed to be a mole and been exposed, I would have met a gruesome end. Besides, I would rather die than betray my master. Since they want me to be an inside man and don't care if I live or die, then all of them, those who colluded with the Shi kingdom, must die. Gao Wushui declared. And you, Gao Wukui, the only reason you're still alive is because you were unaware of their plot. And because you're my father, you're allowed to live. If you don't obediently admit your mistakes, you'll stay in this prison forever, Gao Wushui sneered. No matter which side the clan joins, you should never betray the clan, Gao Wukui said. Betray the clan. Gao Wushui sneered. Right now, I am the clan leader. I am the clan's only eternal true god. As long as I live, the clan can survive. If I die, the clan will immediately collapse and be plundered by all factions. You keep talking about being loyal to the clan, so you should be loyal to me. I am your father. Gao Wukui couldn't stand his son's attitude. In this world, my mother gave birth to me, and my master poured his heart and soul into cultivating me. And you. What do you count for? Gao Wushui turned and walked away. Inside Huyang City, in a secret underground hall within an ordinary cave dwelling. Shui Yun, Yu Tianyu, and Yu Tianyi were gathered here. We've tried every means to gather information on the 3 forbidden zones, Shui Yun said. But the city lord's mansion has imposed a strict news blackout. The core members guarding the 3 forbidden zones are nearly impossible to bribe. Gao Wuwei of the Gaowu family was easy enough to bribe, Yu Tianyu said, shaking his head. But he was too incompetent. Not only did he fail to persuade Gao Wushui, but he even lost his own life in the process. If a piece of trash dies, so be it, Yu Tianyi said. Divine Lord Shuiyan, we've been gathering information for so long. When do we make our move? We've prepared long enough, it is time to act, Shui Yun said. Yu Tianyu and Yu Tianyi's eyes lit up. How will we proceed? Yu Tianyu pressed. Our targets are the 3 forbidden zones, Shui Yun declared. The city lord's mansion only has Mo Lishao on the surface, though they might have hidden forces. But with the 3 of us working together, we have nothing to fear from the city lord's mansion. If we can break into just one forbidden zone and destroy it, the overall power of the Huyang City Great Formation will plummet. The Huyang City Great Formation has many critical nodes. If an ordinary node is destroyed, it has little effect on the formation. The 3 forbidden zones, however, were the core of the entire system. I will tell you the detailed action plan on the day of the operation, Shui Yun said. Alright, we'll follow brother Shui Yun's lead. Yu Tianyu, Yu Tianyi, and the others were all very confident. Because Yu Tianyu had awakened a special bloodline, his divine body could be considered the pinnacle of the bloodline cultivation path for an eternal true god. Shui Yun, who was well versed in such matters, believed that Yu Tianyu's divine body was likely no less powerful than the infinite divine body. Of course, the infinite divine body had immense potential and could be put to great use in the Chaos Realm and at the God King level. In contrast, the bloodline cultivation path reached its peak at the Chaos Master level, meaning its potential was far lower. Yet, this did not diminish Yu Tianyu's formidable strength at this moment. And Yu Tianyi, as one of the 5 gods of Yutian, was also an expert on the same level as Mo Lishao. With these 3 experts joining forces, they were naturally brimming with confidence. Inside an elegant cave dwelling within the Jinhu Legion's massive camp. Luo Feng held a wine pot. Gulp, gulp. After taking 2 sips of the wine, he immediately felt the poison seep into his soul, making his mental will teeter on the verge of collapse. At the same time, Luo Feng was cultivating the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique, which repeatedly sought to annihilate his own will. The Duan Dong lineage, in cultivating its successors through the generations, has developed a method to refine black marsh poison, to make its effects even more powerful, Luo Feng thought. By using black marsh poison as the primary ingredient, adding other components, and infusing it into fruit wine, a unique and powerful liquor could be brewed. This concoction was far more effective for tempering one's mental will. My soul is too strong, and my mental will is even more powerful. Relying solely on the raw poison consumes too much of the resource, Luo Feng mused. The black marsh fruit wine, combined with the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique, yields the best results while also conserving the black marsh poison. For an ordinary cultivator, such training would be unbearably painful. But Luo Feng's will had been tempered through far greater hardships, especially the agony of the Star Tower's recognition process, which far surpassed the pain he was experiencing now. After all, no conventional tempering technique could ever match the level of suffering endured during the Star Tower's recognition. Thus, Luo Feng remained remarkably calm. He even found this slight pain to be a small pleasure in his cultivation. Master, are we really going to stay here for an entire epoch? Morosa walked over, sounding quite reluctant. I'm just a servant, my presence doesn't matter much. Can't I go out and explore a bit? He used to enjoy himself in the city all the time, but now, after being confined to the military camp for so long, Morosa couldn't hold back anymore. Look at you, Luo Feng said, shaking his head. You can't even endure this little bit of boredom. Your mental fortitude is truly mediocre. I'm just seizing the moment to enjoy life, what does that have to do with mental willpower? Morosa retorted. I, your master, am staying here on guard, yet you, a mere servant, want to go out and enjoy yourself. Luo Feng looked at him. Don't you think you're being a bit too much? Morosa lowered his head. Wait. We wait until the Shi Kingdom faction attacks, or until a full epoch has passed, Luo Feng said. Suddenly. Without warning, an incredibly terrifying cold descended, instantly enveloping the entire Jinhu Legion's camp. In the dead of night, the vast camp, spanning hundreds of millions of kilometers, was completely covered in a layer of frost. They're here so soon. Luo Feng looked up in surprise. Finally. Morosa rejoiced. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 54, Stopping at Nothing. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Protect Qing Yan, Luo Feng instructed, grabbing the wine gourd and stepping out of the cave dwelling. Rest assured, Master, Morosa said, standing beside Moyu Qingyan. He looked up at the frost covering the sky and earth. The cave dwelling's formation activated automatically, shielding both Morosa and Moyu Qingyan. Moyu Qingyan was visibly nervous. Lord Luo saw, should I hide in the flying boat? I'll bring you into the flying boat's secret treasure at the critical moment. For now. Just watch the battle, Morosa replied with a smile, gazing into the distance. The Shi Kingdom faction is attacking. This battle will be a spectacular sight. Moyu Qingyan glanced at Morosa, feeling uneasy. Lord Luo Sa was merely a void true god. If the Shi Kingdom factions might spilled over, they would both be turned to ash. Since Master arranged it this way, he must trust Lord Luo Sa, Moyu Qingyan thought helplessly. He could only watch the battle with bated breath, silently praying they wouldn't be caught in the crossfire. Meanwhile, Luo Feng had already reached the nearby core building in just a few steps. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone lay deep beneath this very structure. I'll just guard the entrance. No one's getting in, Luo Feng declared, standing at the temple's gateway. He watched as countless snow-white threads descended from the night sky, weaving into a vast heavenly net that instantly ensnared the three colossal mechanical stream secret treasures as they soared upward. The Jinhu Legion, the largest of the three, had transformed into a Jinhu beast. As the heavenly net enveloped it, the beast roared, struggling to tear through the shimmering web. The two Huyang Guard's mechanical stream secret treasures, the three-sword sky-splitting beast and the blade-wing devouring insect, were less powerful but no less fierce in their resistance. Swish, swish, swish. Constrained by the heavenly net, the three colossal mechanical stream secret treasures were visibly weakened. What a magnificent heavenly net, Luo Feng remarked, taking a small sip of wine. The sight only heightened his excitement. A binding technique like this alone would have been enough to defeat the Blood Python Guild leader. The master who unleashed it must be on par with Mo Li Xiao. At that moment, beneath the immense heavenly net, a figure materialized, a woman with an ice body. Her entire form was composed of frozen ice, and her eyes were even colder. The Jinhu Legion and two Huyang Guards think they are worthy to stop me. Yu Tianyi's voice boomed everywhere. Attack. Kill. Destroy this place. Amidst rolling thunder, four figures charged into the camp. How dare you? The giant Jinhu, bound by the heavenly net high in the air, still exuded terrifying power. With a single roar, it instantly activated the full might of the Huyang City formation. Mysterious formations began to appear in the sky above the camp. Luo Feng looked up to see layers of formations manifesting in the sky. Some shimmered with golden light, others flowed with black energy, and some glowed with purple radiance. These numerous formations worked in perfect harmony, forming a massive abyssal vortex formation. This colossal abyssal vortex formation descended, enveloping the entire camp and forcing the once mighty heavenly net to contract. Huyang City's formations are indeed troublesome. Under its suppression, my strength is reduced by 30%, and the other eternal true gods are even more severely weakened. Yu Tianyi immediately sensed the formation's terrifying power. With the formation's aid, the giant golden roar, the three-sword sky-splitting beast, and the blade-wing devouring insect grew significantly more powerful as they charged toward Yu Tianyi in midair. Relying on the mechanical stream secret treasure of your legion to project such might, yet your techniques are crude indeed. Yu Tianyi sneered at the sight. She extended her hands, and massive blades of ice materialized in the air. Kill. Her blade techniques, forged over countless ages, unleashed 9 colossal ice blades that tore through the sky, converging on the golden roar, the three-sword sky-splitting beast, and the blade-wing devouring insect. The ice blades were terrifying in their power and profoundly mysterious in their execution. She is Yu Tianyi, one of the 5 gods of Yutian, from the Yutian clan, General Jin Xiao transmitted to the 2 Huyang Guard commanders. She has long since mastered Chaos Realm blade techniques and even used a mechanical stream secret treasure to forge her ice body. Even if we join forces, we cannot defeat her. We can only focus on self-preservation. The Forbidden Zone must now rely on Divine Lord Luo He. Yu Tianyi. The 2 Huyang Guard commanders felt immense pressure. The Yu Kingdom's Zhujiang Chaos Prefecture bordered the Shi Kingdom's Luoyuan Chaos Prefecture. The Luoyuan Chaos Prefecture was the fiefdom of Marquis Luoyuan. Among the renowned eternal true gods under Marquis Luoyuan's command, there were only about a dozen, and the 5 gods of Yutian were listed among them. Each one was formidable, capable of suppressing several legions single-handedly. Inside the core of Huyang City, the City Lord's mansion. Huyang City Lord, Mo Lishao, the white-haired elder, and the one-horned General Yang were all present. Their divine power avatars stood together, watching the surveillance display that covered the entire city. Several ordinary residential areas have been attacked, Huyang City Lord said, staring at the screens. He saw eternal true gods, concealing their presence, rampaging through the residential districts and slaughtering the inhabitants. These ordinary residential areas were home to true gods who lived there for free. Each true god's living space was generally no more than 1 kilometer long and wide. In an area of just 10,000 square kilometers, over 100 million citizens could reside, a testament to the extreme population density. Though these residential areas were protected by formations, they were no match for the top-tier eternal true gods. The formations were swiftly shattered, and the true gods living within, unable to resist, were instantly obliterated. Rumble. The wanton destruction within the city made the faces of Huyang City Lord and his companions darken. The Huyang Guard has already been dispatched, Mo Lishao said. They are deliberately causing chaos in the city to force us to deploy the Huyang Guard, thereby splitting our forces. The Shi Kingdom truly has no bottom line, the single-horned man said coldly. They don't care about slaughtering the city's citizens to achieve their goals. We must protect the city's residents, Huyang City Lord said. The residential areas are too densely populated. Such wanton slaughter will cause panic in the city. When the Marquis finds out, he will severely punish us. Back when Mei Wuqi had brutally murdered hundreds of millions of people, it was indeed atrocious. But his largest abduction took place when the ordinary Fangzhou city was breached by a beast tide. The city's residents were already scattering in flight, and he seized the opportunity to abduct hundreds of millions at once. In Huyang City, although he had committed atrocities, he was much more cautious. Each time, he abducted only a small number of people, even requiring the help of Huyang Guard Commander Qian Yuchong to ensure the operation was clean and did not cause panic. If the Shi Kingdom faction continued this wanton slaughter, the resulting panic would drive many residents to flee the city. This would disrupt the collection of the residents' fee. Marquis Zhujiang and the God Kings would never allow such a thing to happen. All 3 forbidden zones have been attacked. The forces the Shi Kingdom dispatched this time are indeed formidable. Besides Shui Yun, there's also Yu Tianyu and Yu Tianyi. Huyang City Lord looked at the 3 men beside him. I will defend the City Lord's mansion. I'm leaving the forbidden zones to you. The City Lord's mansion is the most important, the single-horned man said calmly. Do not worry about the 3 forbidden zones. Luo Feng had been standing before the Forbidden Zone's main hall, still holding his wine pot, leisurely watching the 3 mechanical stream secret treasures battle the experts from the Shi Kingdom in the sky. But the sudden eruption of Huyang City's formation was too terrifying. Of the 5 eternal true gods from the Shi Kingdom, only Yu Tianyi and another eternal true god, who wielded the power of thunder, attempted to press on toward the Forbidden Zone. The other 3 eternal true gods retreated in panic, fleeing toward the ordinary residential areas near the military camp. They immediately launched an attack, intending to tear through the formations protecting the residential district. They deserved to die. Luo Feng's expression turned cold, and the wine pot in his hand vanished. The 3 eternal true gods who had fled outside the camp were acting independently and were quite a distance away from Luo Feng. Buzz. Standing at the hall's entrance, Luo Feng was suddenly clad in golden armor. Pairs of golden wings unfurled behind him. Simultaneously, fueled by his perfect divine power, the Shiwu wings stirred the chaos. The Shiwu Wing's Chaos Realm technique, Chaos Manipulation. At this moment, Luo Feng didn't hold back his perfect divine power at all, expending it recklessly to expand the range of his Chaos Manipulation technique to an immense scale. Within tens of billions of kilometers, the chaos power descended, decomposing vast amounts of matter and energy back into its primal state. Yu Tianyi, who had been besieging the three giant mechanical stream secret treasures alone, felt her expression change slightly. She sensed the surrounding heavenly forces returning to chaos. The dense chaos chi was incomparably heavy. What a powerful chaos domain. This is bad. Yu Tianyi realized the dire situation. Her ice body was naturally unaffected by this level of restriction, but her subordinates would likely suffer miserably under such overwhelming force. The three eternal true gods who had fled into the ordinary residential areas were just about to start their slaughter, intending to force the Jinhu Legion and the Huyang guards to stop them. Suddenly, they discovered the surrounding heavenly forces returning to chaos. Endless chaos chi swirled around them. This chaos chi seemed to possess a will of its own, binding and crushing them. No. These three eternal true gods each had their own specialties, and their strength was no less than Heiduomo's. If they could earn enough merit, they might be granted mechanical stream secret treasures by the Marquis. It was easy to earn merit in enemy cities, but it required taking risks. And the more risks one took, the higher the chance of death. Puff, puff, puff. Under the terrifying crushing pressure of the chaos chi, the three top eternal true gods shattered in terror. Standing before the palace gate, Luo Feng frowned slightly. Of these three eternal true gods, my chaos manipulation only crushed 2 hearts of the true god. The third eternal true god had no heart of the true god within its body. Luo Feng knew well that some eternal true gods possessed unique origins of laws or specialized cultivation legacies, which granted them life-saving secret techniques. For instance, the life-saving secret technique, Undying River, from Duan Donghai's lineage was even more powerful. However, Luo Feng, with his perfect divine body, had no need for such techniques. A pity I couldn't completely eradicate the evil. I only killed 2. Luo Feng's gaze swept over Yu Tianyi, who was suspended in midair, and the other eternal true god, a master of thunder, who was currently suppressed. Divine Lord Luo He. Yu Tianyi's eyes burned with fighting spirit. A mere domain alone couldn't intimidate her. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 55, Bounty. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Luo Feng had initially been watching the battle with interest while sipping wine. Because of his master, Zuoshan Ke, he might have future conflicts with the Shi Kingdom's sovereign lords. However, he harbored no great animosity toward the other cultivators of the Shi Kingdom. Yet, when they began wantonly slaughtering weak true gods, a fierce killing intent rose within him. 2 nations fighting, each relying on its own strength. But to slaughter the weak. What a bunch of filthy scum. Luo Feng's eyes turned cold. At the same time, he began searching for Yu Tianyi's bounty in the Yangfeng Pavilion's dark hall. The bounty missions listed in Huyang City were only those received by the Yangfeng Pavilion's Huyang branch. Bounty missions from other major cities or even other nations were not actively distributed to all clients. Yu Tianyi's bounty is as high as 500,000 cosmic sand. Luo Feng immediately found it and accepted the mission on the spot. Not everyone could have a bounty mission, as the minimum bounty was 10,000 cosmic sand. Until a mission was completed, the bounty had to be deposited with the Yangfeng Pavilion. Therefore, the vast majority of eternal true gods did not have bounty missions issued against them. Even Luo Feng himself had never had a bounty placed on him. This divine lord Luo He suppressed and killed a top eternal true god using only domain techniques. Is his mechanical stream secret treasure that special? Yu Tianyi speculated. A combination type mechanical stream secret treasure could condense divine power to rival chaos divine power. By unleashing chaos techniques with it, one could achieve such devastating might. The Blood Python Guild leader sent a message before he died, claiming Divine Lord Luo He's mechanical stream secret treasure is worth at least 5 million cosmic sand. Perhaps it's true, Yu Tianyi thought, her interest piqued. She glanced down. Only one of her subordinates remained alive, the eternal true god who wielded lightning. This eternal true god possessed the mechanical stream secret treasure, Core of Thunder. Through eons of cultivation, he had unlocked its potential to an extraordinary level. In terms of raw strength, he was no less than the Blood Python Guild leader. But now, suppressed by the Huyang City formation and pinned down by the Shi Wu Wing's chaos domain, he had crashed to the ground. He lay immobilized, crushed by the suffocating pressure of the chaos chi. Divine Lord Yutian, save me. Save me. The eternal true god pleaded through a telepathic transmission. Whoosh. Strands of snow-white silk materialized from the void, wrapping around the eternal true god and swiftly whisking him away to safety. You leave first. I'll deal with Divine Lord Luo He. Yu Tianyi, her ice body suspended in midair, sent a distant voice transmission. Divine Lord Yutian, be careful. The lightning-wielding eternal true god, being swept away in retreat, breathed a sigh of relief. Escape. Standing before the palace gates, Luo Feng moved. With a single step, utilizing the myriad realms evasion token he had obtained from Yingkang, he traversed the void and appeared right next to the lightning-wielding eternal true god, who was still enveloped in the countless snow-white silk threads. No, the lightning-wielding eternal true god stared in disbelief at Luo Feng, who had suddenly materialized beside him. HMPH. Luo Feng extended his hand. His 5 fingers, as sharp as 5 blades, pierced straight through the enveloping snow-white silk threads and plunged into the eternal true god's chest, seizing the heart of the true god. Pucci. The heart of the true god shattered instantly. Luo Feng then collected the corpse and all its belongings. The snow-white silk threads naturally dissipated into nothingness. He then looked up at Yu Tianyi in the distance. Yu Tianyi didn't care about her subordinate's death. Her gaze fixed on Luo Feng as she spoke, traversing the void. The City Lord's mansion trusts you enough to grant you the authority to traverse the void. Even when hiring powerful experts, the City Lord's mansion typically maintained precautions to prevent hired help from turning against them in the heat of battle. Yu Tianyi, are you ready to die? Luo Feng declared. In all my years of cultivation, I've yet to encounter an eternal true god capable of killing me. Yu Tianyi sneered. In an instant, a flurry of ice blades erupted around her, blasting the giant Jinhu beast, the 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and the blade-wing devouring insect backward. I heard your blade techniques have reached the Chaos Realm. As it happens, I know a few blade techniques myself, Luo Feng said. You know blade techniques too. With a flash, Yu Tianyi had already shaken off the giant Jinhu beast, the 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and the blade-wing devouring insect. This left General Jin Shao, Gao Wushui, and the others feeling utterly exhausted. Even with their Legion mechanical stream secret treasures, they were completely outmatched by this incredibly powerful eternal true god. Even in a 3-on-1 fight with the support of the Huyang City formation, they were still suppressed. Now, she could shake them off with ease. Die. Yu Tianyi lunged forward, 9 ice blades condensing before her. The blades seemed poised to slice through the very fabric of heaven and earth, closing in with an irresistible force. Luo Feng sensed the surrounding space had been completely sealed. Before these 9 blades, there was nowhere to run. When it comes to sneak attacks and assassinations, Yingkang holds the advantage. However, in terms of direct, head-on combat, Yu Tianyi is even more formidable. Since he couldn't dodge, Luo Feng stopped trying. Instead, he relied on the Chaos Domain's perception to gauge her power. Only when the 9 ice blades reached his front did Luo Feng suddenly charge forward, a sharp glint in his eyes, boundless 10 directions. Facing the onslaught of the 9 ice blades, Luo Feng used his own divine body as a blade, unleashing the only purely defensive technique in the 9 realms severing blades, the boundless 10 directions blade. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Luo Feng's entire divine body became like a blade, as terrifying power circulated on his surface to form thick, overlapping blade shadows. The blade shadows layered upon each other, making Luo Feng's own figure appear blurred. HMPH. Yu Tianyi was confident in her strength. Her 9 ice blades, designed to shred everything to pieces, slashed down upon Luo Feng. As they cut through the layers of blade shadows, their power was visibly diminished. By the time they struck Luo Feng's divine body, the surface of his threefold body refinement perfect divine body showed only faint marks, which vanished instantly. Using the boundless 10 directions blade with my physical body to block her attack. I still ended up with a few scratches, Luo Feng thought. After more than 20 epochs of cultivation, Luo Feng was far stronger than when he had fought Yingkang. Thus, he hadn't even used Duan Mie to burn his divine power, relying solely on the normal strength of his threefold body refinement perfect divine body. This scene caused Yu Tianyi, who had been charging forward, to abruptly halt, her heart filled with alarm. What kind of protective technique is he using? Layers of blade shadows guarding him. My ultimate technique, the one I'm so proud of, couldn't even scratch him. The boundless 10 directions blade isn't strong enough yet, Luo Feng thought. The 6 blades of the eternal god level realm severing 9 blades became increasingly complex as one progressed. While the earlier Life and Death Blade, Return to Void Blade, and Samsara Blade were relatively simple, the subsequent 3-phase Shadow Blade, 5 Directions Heaven Severing Blade, and Boundless 10 Directions Blade all integrated multiple concepts, deepening Luo Feng's understanding of the Chaos Laws. But there was still a gap between them and a true Chaos Realm Blade technique. Luo He, it seems you possess a set of combined mechanical style treasures, excelling in domain control, defense, and movement alike, Yu Tianyi sneered. Relying on treasures isn't true skill. I'm done playing with you today. Whoosh. Yu Tianyi immediately soared into the sky. Want to leave? Luo Feng instantly traversed the void, suddenly appearing directly in front of Yu Tianyi's flight path. I knew you'd traverse the void. Yu Tianyi had long been prepared. With a single thought, countless snow-white threads merged into the void, manifesting like a massive trap net that enveloped Luo Feng. As she trapped him, Yu Tianyi swiftly fled toward the distant night sky. A blade abruptly appeared in Luo Feng's hand. The boundless power from his threefold body refinement was completely channeled into this God King grade blade. A flash of blade light. A blade light that seemed to tear the heavens and earth appeared, shredding the snow-white silk web and threatening to tear through the fleeing Yu Tianyi. Yu Tianyi dodged nimbly, managing to avoid most of it, but the blade light grazed her arm, causing it to instantly annihilate. The sheer power of this strike left Yu Tianyi stunned. How can he be so strong? He feels even more ferocious than second brother. Luo Feng lunged forward with the blade of light. The terrifying speed granted by the perfect divine body from the threefold body refinement, combined with the spatial control of the myriad realms evasion token, made it impossible for Yu Tianyi to evade his close quarters charge. Oh no! Yu Tianyi felt an unstoppable, terrifying figure crashing into her. Boom! The ice body was smashed to pieces, completely shattered. Luo Feng only stopped after passing through her body, frowning as he scanned the surroundings. She condensed an ice body to launch this assassination. Her true body isn't even here, Luo Feng sensed in all directions. And she's not within my chaos domain. Her true body was hidden in the distance, the body that came out to fight was merely a construct of ice power. Killing her would be incredibly difficult. And this was merely the capability of an eternal true god. Those ancient chaos masters would invest heavily in life-preserving techniques and even reincarnation methods. Even a god king couldn't claim to have completely killed a chaos master. On the surface, they might have been defeated, but they could have been resurrected elsewhere, or perhaps they had already reincarnated. Master Zuo Shank chose reincarnation. After reincarnating, all karmic ties are severed. As long as he doesn't expose himself, no one can recognize him. Now, the rulers of the Shi Kingdom have gained a formidable enemy lurking in the shadows. Invading and annexing other divine countries brings many long-term consequences. By choosing this path, the Shi Kingdom must be prepared to deal with these aftermaths. Of the 5 eternal true gods sent by the Shi Kingdom this time, we only managed to kill 3. Luo Feng descended. Completely eliminating them is truly not easy. Divine Lord Luo He. The attacking Shi Kingdom faction has been completely defeated. The giant Jinhu beast, 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and blade-wing devouring insect flew over, all visibly excited. As expected of Divine Lord Luo He completely crushed them the moment he made his move. Luo Feng wasn't particularly excited. Even after accepting Yu Tianyi's bounty, he still couldn't do anything about her. What powerful combat fluctuations. Luo Feng sensed the terrifying energy erupting in the distance from Huyang City, especially to the southwest. The fluctuations in the southwest must be from 2 super powerful beings fighting. If I don't burn my divine power, I'm afraid I'll be a level below them. The terrifying clash in the southwest involved combatants who both surpassed the level of Yu Tianyi and Ying Kang. Mo Lishao, I sense a fierce battle in the southwest region of Huyang City. Do you need my help? Luo Feng sent a message. I've already defeated the Shi Kingdom faction on my end. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 56, General Yang and Divine Lord Xuanhuan. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Divine Lord Luo He, please continue guarding the Forbidden Zone. The Shi Kingdom could launch a sneak attack at any moment, Mo Lishao replied. Right now, multiple Shi Kingdom factions are attacking within Huyang City. Once the city settles down, Divine Lord Luo He will have completed this mission. Understood, Luo Feng replied. He knew that, on one hand, the city lord's mansion had made detailed arrangements and possessed a strong enough defense force that they didn't need his help. On the other hand, as a hired mercenary, the city lord's mansion had limited trust in him. I wanted to fight a few more experts. What a pity, Luo Feng thought as he walked back to guard the entrance of the Forbidden Zone's main hall. He began to reflect on the previous battle. Yu Tianyi's divine power was far inferior to his own. Even the power of ice she unleashed using her mechanical type secret treasure was weaker than his perfect divine body. Her blade techniques, Luo Feng recalled, have a profound effect on space, but it's different from how the myriad realms evasion token affects it. Luo Feng began to contemplate and analyze the technique. The path to the chaos laws was far from easy. Having only reached the eternal true God realm 20-some epochs ago, Luo Feng's foundation was far shallower than that of Yu Tianyi, Yu Tianyu, and Xuanhuan. Yet, Luo Feng made a habit of gleaning experience from his opponents to accelerate his own growth. Our Forbidden Zone has been secured. The other 2 are still locked in battle. The Jinhu Legion, 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and blade-wing devouring insect exchanged messages, their tone noticeably more relaxed. Thank goodness for Divine Lord Luo He. Without him, we would have been forced to call for reinforcements. Divine Lord Luo He truly kept his word. He even slew several eternal true gods from the Shi kingdom. That eternal true god who wielded lightning. He must have had a mechanical type secret treasure. It fell into Divine Lord Luo He's hands as well. Earning a couple million cosmic sand is truly a trivial matter for Divine Lord Luo He. They communicated via divine sense, their voices tinged with envy. Although the city lord's mansion deemed the possibility of Divine Lord Luo He's betrayal extremely low, they still held a trump card. If he were to turn traitor, the city lord's mansion would immediately mobilize its forces to intervene. Boom. Boom. Two towering figures clashed in the night sky. On one side was Mo Lishao, piloting the Legion's mechanical secret treasure, the six-armed divine owl. On the other was Yu Tianyu's towering true body, already burning with divine power as he swung a long staff. Their collision sent tremors through the very heavens and earth. This Yu Tianyu truly deserves his place as the leader of the five gods of Yudian. Mo Lishao was utterly shocked. His divine body has been cultivated to an inconceivable level. Even the infinite divine body might not be any better. With my legion and the support of Huyang City's formations, I can only barely scratch him. Yu Tianyu didn't even bother to defend. Every move was an attack, as fierce and violent as a collision between heaven and earth. His divine body healed the minor injuries instantly. Mo Lishao found the situation increasingly troublesome. Divine Lord Xuanhuan can only rely on his superior cultivation realm to face me. He poses no real threat to my divine body, Yu Tianyu said confidently. His divine body was considered the most terrifying at the eternal true god level, and he had also cultivated his divine power burning technique to an extremely high level. Once he unleashed his full power, he feared nothing. Yu Tianyu, retreat. Divine Lord Xuanhuan suddenly sent a message. Retreat. Yu Tianyu replied in confusion. Why? Yu Tianyu has already been defeated. I've run into General Yanghu from the royal capital of the Yu kingdom and have to flee as well. If you don't retreat now, you'll be surrounded. Hurry. Divine Lord Xuanhuan replied. Although Divine Lord Xuanhuan served Marquis Luin of the Shi Kingdom, he had never truly fought to the death in Huyang City. At most, he only ever exerted 5% of his true strength, enough to intimidate the city and extort vast resources from Marquis Luin. The struggle between nations is fueled by endless power. The more I reveal, the heavier my burdens will become, and the stronger my opponents will grow. One day, I might even die. Hiding my strength is the only way to survive. My goal isn't to fight for the Shi Kingdom, but to acquire the resources needed to break through to the Chaos Realm. Divine Lord Xuanhuan knew exactly what he wanted. On the Origin Continent, every major city typically had several powerful eternal true gods. But Divine Lord Xuanhuan looked down on them, his cultivation had long since reached unfathomable depths. Even Yu Tianyu and Yu Tianyi believed. He had already set one foot into the Chaos Realm. I have cultivated both bloodline and laws, and I have mastered 9 Chaos Realm techniques. Even among all the eternal true gods in the Shi Kingdom, I doubt anyone could surpass me in pure cultivation. Yet, despite all this, I still haven't achieved the breakthrough. Divine Lord Xuanhuan stared at the terrifying being before him. Finally, in Huyang City, I've met someone as powerful as I am. The 3 forbidden zones were guarded by Luo Feng, Mo Lishao, and the white-haired elder, respectively. General Yanghu was a hidden force. After the 3 forbidden zones were attacked, General Yanghu chose to come and assassinate Divine Lord Xuanhuan because Divine Lord Xuanhuan's power had become terrifyingly strong this time, already threatening the forbidden zones. You won't escape today. General Yanghu's killing intent soared to the heavens. He had cultivated the infinite divine body and was an eternal true god of extraordinary talent in the entire Yu state, highly valued by the God King. He had also learned many God King techniques, reached an extremely high level in terms of realm, and comprehended Chaos Realm moves. Infinite divine body, God King inheritance, realm, will, weapons, and treasures, General Yang had no weaknesses. This Xuanhuan's divine body is inferior to mine. General Yang's killing intent was intense. However, his accumulation in terms of realm is actually above mine, and his use of various techniques is strange and unpredictable. Fortunately, with the help of the Huyang City formation, there is hope of killing him today. Without the Huyang City formation, General Yang would also be unable to do anything to the opponent. General Yang, you are merely taking advantage of the formation. Divine Lord Xuanhuan smiled faintly. Suddenly, his body whooshed and transformed into rolling blood waves, instantly sweeping across the vast surrounding area. Luo Feng could also transform into a river of blood using the mechanical type secret treasure, Lifeblood River. But Divine Lord Xuanhuan, however, had combined several Chaos Realm techniques to completely transform his divine body into an endless blood tide. In terms of profound application, it was far superior to Luo Feng's simple activation of the mechanical type secret treasure. General Yang was startled. Suppress. General Yang roared, and a colossal illusory seal descended from the night sky, slamming down on the blood tide below and annihilating a portion of it. Whoosh tilde tilde tilde. The vast majority of the remaining blood tide surged in all directions, instantly engulfing an area of hundreds of millions of li. Every living being within that range, whether they were resident true gods or void true gods, was swallowed whole. The blood tide's reach continued to expand. How dare you? General Yang's expression darkened. This single wave of blood tide had already devoured over a billion beings. General Yang, I admit you have more treasures than I do, and you have the formation's support. If we keep going like this, I won't be able to escape. But when you finally kill me, how many lives do you think I can slaughter? 50 billion. 100 billion. Ha ha ha, can you bear the consequences of such a massive slaughter? Divine Lord Xuanhuan's voice boomed, echoing through every part of the blood tide. As the massive illusory seal crushed the blood waves, the crimson tide surged forward, sweeping through vast areas. No. Help. What's happening? Countless beings faced this sudden calamity, instantly annihilated within the blood waves. Get lost, General Yang said, his face grim. The illusory seal in the air vanished into his palm, and the great formation's power retracted. Haha, General Yang is truly wise. The churning blood waves instantly scattered and vanished without a trace. General Yang remained where he stood, his face filled with frustration. General Yang, the white-haired elder approached. Sacrificing tens to hundreds of billions of lives just to kill one eternal true god of the Shi Kingdom is simply not worth it, General Yang said, shaking his head. If he truly slaughtered that many, not only I, but all 5 great families would be held accountable. How can Divine Lord Xuanhuan be so strong? The white-haired elder said, unable to believe it. Throughout all these ages, he has never revealed such immense power. The two sides had fought for eons, and Divine Lord Xuanhuan's faction had even been on the weaker side. Without the Huyang City Great Formation, I couldn't even touch him. General Yang was indeed shaken. What was his reputation? He was even cultivated by the God King. Yet this little-known Divine Lord Xuanhuan had a deeper cultivation than he did. General Yang sighed inwardly. Status did not equate to strength. Even among reclusive cultivators, there could be those with immense power, perhaps even a chaos master. Never underestimate any opponent, General Yang said, scanning his surroundings. Huyang City's residential areas for true gods were divided into separate sectors. Yet, even so, the endless waves of blood had spread too far. Just a few moves in the battle had slaughtered billions of living beings. An estimated 8 billion lives were lost at the hands of Xuanhuan, the white-haired elder said, his expression grim. Such a massive loss must be reported to the Marquis and the royal capital. We did our best, General Yang said, turning to leave. A battle between chaos masters could potentially devour an entire major city with a single gulp, utterly annihilating all its inhabitants. Yet, even a conflict at the eternal true god level, considering the widespread destruction and slaughter across Huyang City tonight, had claimed nearly 10 billion lives. This was a headache for the city lord's mansion. Such an open and brutal massacre was impossible to conceal. In front of the Forbidden Zone's architecture hall, Luo Feng sat cross-legged, while Morosa and Moyu Qingyan guarded beside him. Brother Luo He, your mission is over, Mo Lishao transmitted to Luo Feng. The Shi Kingdom faction has completely withdrawn. They won't act again so soon. With General Yang's appearance, the Shi Kingdom faction naturally grew cautious. This time, Divine Lord Xuanhuan had only managed to force General Yang to stop by slaughtering countless beings as a threat. All right. Luo Feng rose and asked via transmission, how was the situation this time? Not good. Many of the city's citizens died, Mo Lishao replied. Detailed information will likely spread soon. Mo Lishao knew all too well how well informed the various factions in Huyang City were. An incident of this magnitude couldn't be kept secret, especially with the Yangfeng Pavilion's formidable intelligence network, which surpassed even the city lord's mansion in many aspects. Luo Feng glanced at Morosa and Moyu Qingyan. We can head back now. Divine Lord Luo He, we owe you a great debt for your help this time, General Jin Xiao and the 2 Huyang Guard commanders said as they came to see them off. It was no trouble. Luo Feng nodded, then boarded the flying boat with Morosa and Moyu Qingyan and departed. General Jin Xiao and the 2 Huyang Guard commanders watched them leave. Our losses are negligible, but the other 2 forbidden zones suffered significant casualties, General Jin Xiao said. Especially because Divine Lord Xuanhuan slaughtered so many beings this time. If we had sent Divine Lord Luo He to support the other forbidden zones immediately after defeating Yutiani, the outcome might have been different, Gao Wushui remarked. That wasn't for us to decide, the other Huyang Guard commander shook his head. Decisions regarding Huyang City were made by the city lord's mansion's core leadership. They could only follow orders. Luo Feng, along with Morosa and Moyu Qingyan, was still on his way back aboard the flying boat. Brother Luo He, a major incident has occurred, Zuyu sent a message to Luo Feng. General Yang Hu of our royal capital of the Yu Kingdom has appeared in the city and is attempting to eliminate Divine Lord Xuanhuan. Divine Lord Xuanhuan has unleashed power far exceeding his previous limits, causing casualties of over 8 billion beings, which forced General Yang Hu to withdraw. What's the situation? Luo Feng frowned slightly. From the intelligence provided by his master, Zuoshan Ke, and the Duandong lineage, he had long known about the cruelty of the Origin Continent. Even without mentioning battles between Chaos Masters or God Kings, even clashes between powerful eternal true gods could still cause massive casualties. I'll send you the detailed report. Zhu Yu immediately sent a complete intelligence file. This is the latest, highly detailed information collected by the Yangfeng Pavilion. Luo Feng immediately reviewed the detailed report. Before this, he hadn't known that General Yang Hu was in the city, nor had he ever encountered Divine Lord Xuanhuan in over 20 epochs. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 57, Sheng Tianyan's Decision. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Inside the flying vessel, Luo Feng carefully read through the entire intelligence report. It contained a detailed introduction to General Yang Hu, and a full account of the Shi Kingdom's attack. Even Luo Feng, as the guardian of a forbidden zone, had not possessed as much information as this report provided. General Yang, from the capital of the Yu Kingdom, possesses the infinite divine body. His strength is unfathomable. To think he couldn't kill Xuanhuan even with the help of the Huyang City Great Formation, Luo Feng thought, secretly astonished. After this battle, Divine Lord Xuanhuan's reputation would soar. Both the Yu Kingdom and the Shi Kingdom would now place even greater importance on him. The next time the Yu Kingdom acted, they would send forces even stronger than General Yang. The Shi Kingdom would also find ways to make even more effective use of Divine Lord Xuanhuan. This was precisely what Divine Lord Xuanhuan did not want to see. In the future, his missions would only become more arduous, and the dangers even greater. On the Shi Kingdom's side, Xuanhuan, Yu Tianyu, and Yu Tianyi are all still alive. Given the Shi Kingdom's style, they won't let this matter rest. Luo Feng immediately steered the flying boat toward the site where General Yang and Xuanhuan had clashed. Master, where are we going? Morosa noticed the change in course. To the place where General Yang and Xuanhuan fought, Luo Feng said. Morosa looked thoughtful. A moment later, the flying vessel arrived at the site of the battle. Luo Feng immediately saw a large number of Huyang guards gathered, having already sealed off this area to prohibit other citizens in the city from approaching. Leave immediately. Seeing a flying vessel approaching, a group of Huyang guards immediately came forward to drive it away. Luo Feng retracted the flying vessel, and his invisible domain also protected Mo Yu Qingyan. As for Morosa, he naturally didn't need his protection. The squad of Huyang guards who were about to drive them away was startled upon seeing Luo Feng's appearance. Divine Lord Luo He. The Huyang guards were all quite respectful. These Huyang guards knew the basic information of all the eternal true gods on the surface of Huyang City, so they naturally recognized him at a glance. When they were patrolling the entire city, they didn't dare to offend eternal true gods. Otherwise, the eternal true gods would use their miniature universe domain to hide and quietly erase them. Unless the city lord's mansion paid a huge price, they wouldn't be able to find the culprit's identity at all. I'll be looking around here, Luo Feng said. The Huyang guards didn't dare say anything more and immediately withdrew. Luo Feng looked ahead. Within this vast area sealed off by the Huyang guards, there were many high-density residential areas and some family cave dwellings, but now the interior was completely empty. Everyone was dead, not a single soul remained. A dense, suffocating resentment gathered in this region. Over 8 billion true gods had been slaughtered in an instant. The fury, indignation, despair, and hatred they felt in their final moments, all these intense wills intertwined and coalesced into a terrifying aura of resentment. Faced with such a malevolent force, even the Huyang guards dared only to maintain a perimeter. Only eternal true gods would venture inside to deal with it. This kind of thing is happening all over the Origin Continent, Luo Feng observed silently. Not just me, but even a god king couldn't change it. This is the law of the jungle, the strong prey on the weak. Though laws existed, their power was ultimately limited. After all, the Chaos Masters could devour the entire population of a major city and still live freely and unburdened, couldn't they? Even Mei Wuxia, who had slaughtered his own subjects, would have escaped severe punishment if Luo Feng hadn't intervened. Brother Luo He. A tall figure flew toward him from the distance. Luo Feng turned to see Sheng Tianyan. The ever-enthusiastic Sheng Tianyan now carried a trace of sorrow. You've come as well, Luo Feng said. I came to see my disciples off, Sheng Tianyan replied, gazing at the vast area churning with resentment. He sighed, tonight, 8,039 disciples of my Tianyan sect perished. They all lived in this region. Luo Feng was taken aback. After all, the Tiān sect was a weapon refining sect founded by Shang Tiān. Over the long years, it had amassed a vast number of disciples, so it wasn't surprising that this area alone housed over 8,000 of them. He himself had lived in the Tiān sect for a time. Perhaps these 8,039 disciples had once caught a glimpse of him from afar. Most of these disciples were mediocre, yet they still worked tirelessly, seizing every opportunity they could, Shang Tiān sighed. In my Tiān sect, anyone who can pass the numerous trials has a chance to become my personal disciple. Among these 8,039 disciples was one of my personal disciples named Meng Shi. Meng Shi lost his parents as a young child and only joined the Tiān sect after he grew up. He worked relentlessly, dedicating himself to every step of weapon refining. Ultimately, he passed all the trials and became my personal disciple, Shang Tiān continued. Who would have thought that tonight, he would be caught in the crossfire and die? Luo Feng silently gazed at the vast area now filled only with resentful energy. I've received intelligence that Shui Yun, Yu Tianyu, and Yu Tianyi, the leaders of the Shi Kingdom's forces this time, were all still alive, Shang Tiān said, looking at Luo Feng. The reports also state that you, brother Luo He, took part in this battle as well. I clashed with Yu Tianyi, she is quite formidable. Yu Tianyu is bound to be even stronger. Luo Feng said. Shui Yun, in particular, is far more powerful than past intelligence suggested. And far more unhinged than before, too. Shang Tiān looked at the area ahead. He used to be very restrained, never slaughtering on such a scale. But this time, he's affected 8 billion people. And with all 3 of them still alive, they'll likely make another move. The conflict between the Shi Kingdom and the Yu Kingdom will drag on for a long time, Luo Feng said. Indeed, it will persist. This is my homeland. I really don't want to see it destroyed by their struggle, Shang Tiān said, gazing at the region. Luo Feng and Shang Tiān stood side by side, looking out over the vast area. Only after a long time did they finally part and leave. Luo Feng and Shang Tiān weren't the only eternal true gods here. All the factions in Huyang City were shaken by this conflict. After all, while skirmishes had been constant, none had ever been this intense. General Yang's appearance, along with Divine Lord Shui Yun's power and brutality, had sent tremors through every faction in the city. Tiān sect. Shang Tiān had returned and summoned his old servant. Sect Master, a metallic life form bowed respectfully. Uncle Chu, Shang Tiān said with a smile. There is something I need your help with. Sect Master, you are always so polite. Uncle Chu grinned, his golden face beaming. Shang Tiān looked at Uncle Chu. When he had returned to his hometown, Huyang City, alone, he had searched the entire city and found only his former family servant, Uncle Chu. After founding the Tiān sect, Uncle Chu became the one he trusted most, handling all the sect's minor affairs. I'm giving you this secret letter, Shang Tiān said. If my cause and effect karmic presence ever dissipates, immediately send it to the 5 people on the list. Karmic presence dissipates. The metallic life form, Uncle Chu, frozen looked at Shang Tiān. Sect Master, you've always loved teaching your disciples and making friends. The world is still so wonderful and interesting. Please don't give up. I'm not trying to die, Shang Tiān said. I'm just preparing to do something rather dangerous. Something dangerous. Sect Master, must you do it? Uncle Chu asked. This matter is very meaningful. Shang Tiān's smile was brilliant. After returning to Huyang City, I've wanted every day of my life to be meaningful. This is something I must do. With that, Shang Tiān turned and left. Sect Master, Uncle Chu whispered, tears streaming down his face as he watched Shang Tiān's departing back. Dream Flower, Menghua Pavilion. Shang Tiān arrived here. Tiān, what brings you here? The Dream Flower Pavilion Master smiled as she came to see him. As one of the 2 eternal true gods in the city most infatuated with her, the Dream Flower Pavilion Master cared deeply for Shang Tiān. I wanted to see you, Shang Tiān said, gazing at her. The Dream Flower Pavilion Master's divine body contained the source of laws she had comprehended. Because of this, anyone looking at her would naturally see the person they most desired in their hearts. In Shang Tiān's eyes, the Dream Flower Pavilion Master had already taken on his wife's appearance, his wife's aura, his wife's smile. Are you just going to keep staring at me like that? The Dream Flower Pavilion Master chuckled. How about I accompany you for a few drinks? Alright, Shang Tiān nodded with a smile. Have you heard about what happened tonight? Divine Lord Shui Yun slaughtered over 8 billion living beings within Huyang City, the Dream Flower Pavilion Master said in amazement. Truly terrifying. I'm afraid Huyang City will never know peace again. It is indeed terrifying. Shang Tiān raised his wine cup. Let's drink. They chatted like this, with one sentence here and there, drinking wine. After an unknown amount of time had passed, Shang Tiān bid her farewell and departed. The Dream Flower Pavilion Master personally saw him off. Strange. The Dream Flower Pavilion master watched Shang Tianyan vanish into the night sky, her expression slightly puzzled. Today, Shang Tianyan's words and demeanor were different from usual. Then, she put the thought aside and returned to her Dream Flower Pavilion. Flying through the night sky, Shang Tianyan gazed down at the bustling city below. This city held many of his fondest memories. If I die, please transfer all the treasures and cosmic sand I have stored in the dark hall to Divine Lord Luo He. Seeing an ordinary cave dwelling in the distance, Shang Tianyan immediately contacted the dark hall of the Yangfeng Pavilion. Long ago, he had deposited all his most precious treasures and cosmic sand there. Whoosh! Shang Tianyan landed before the cave dwelling. Open the gate, he urged. The gate swung open, and Shang Tianyan flew inside. Within the ordinary cave dwelling, before a small pavilion, Sang Shuiyun sat alone, drinking in solitude. You've come, Sang Shuiyun said, looking up. In all of Huyang City, only Shang Tianyan could enter Sang Shuiyun's cave dwelling so easily. Shang Tianyan walked over and sat down beside him. Drink with me. Sang Shuiyun tossed him a wine flask. Shang Tianyan caught the flask and looked at it. Brother Sang, back then, you and I were both alone in Huyang City. When I saw you, it was like looking at my own reflection. You were just like me, infatuated with the Dream Flower Pavilion master, with no ties or attachments to the world. No, you did have attachments, Sang Shuiyun said. You founded the Tianyan sect and cultivated a vast number of artifact refining disciples. I always thought you were just like me, Shang Tianyan said, his gaze fixed on Sang Shuiyun. You and I have always been the same. You were my only friend in Huyang City, Sang Shuiyun replied, meeting his eyes. In fact, you're my only friend in this entire world. We aren't the same, Shang Tianyan said softly. I've come to realize that you don't care about anything. You wouldn't even hesitate to destroy the world. And if you decided to kill me, you'd do it without a second thought, wouldn't you? Sang Shuiyun frowned. Brother Shang, what are you talking about? I'm the only one in all of Huyang City you couldn't deceive, Shang Tianyan said. If you hadn't started acting so recklessly, I really wouldn't have wanted to expose this. Sang Shuiyun fell silent, his gaze turning icy. Divine Lord Shui Yun, I haven't mistaken your identity, have I? Shang Tianyan asked, staring at him. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 58, Shang Tianyan's Arrangements. Author, Ait Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Sang Shuiyun looked at him, but several strands of power were already escaping into the depths of the earth, rapidly moving away from the cave dwelling. Brother Shang, I never expected you to see me this way, Sang Shuiyun said in a low voice. I do have some secrets, but so do you. I thought we understood each other, that we wouldn't pry into each other's secrets. I never imagined you were investigating me, or even suspected I might be Divine Lord Shui Yun. Do you really think a solitary cultivator like me could possess such power? Shang Tianyan stared at him. Still denying it at this point. You've truly mistaken me for someone else, Sang Shuiyun said, meeting his gaze. If I'm mistaken, then why has your true body already fled? Shang Tianyan countered. Sang Shuiyun fell silent. Brother Shang, it seems you are stronger than I anticipated, you were actually able to detect my escape technique. Sang Shuiyun sighed. His escape technique integrated 3 Chaos Realm moves, making it so silent that an ordinary eternal true god could never perceive it. I'm not particularly skilled at anything, I just know a little about artifact refining, Shang Tianyan replied. It's only after returning to Huyang City that I lost the will to compete. The outside world only says my artifact refining is among the best in Huyang City. Among the best without even competing. Sang Shuiyun looked at him. I knew all along you were just like me. You and I are not the same. Shang Tianyan looked at him. We are both lonely in this world, with little to cling to. But I am grateful for my life's journey. I have witnessed the wonders of the world, seen cultivators with their own pursuits, their own beloved ones. Just as you and I once were, full of fighting spirit and desire. The world is so magnificent. Why must you destroy it all? Shang Tianyan asked. What are you doing it for? As long as I can become stronger, any sacrifice is worth it. Sang Shuiyun's eyes grew cold. What if 1 trillion beings are annihilated? I, Sang Shuiyun, will surely become the Chaos Master, and one day, the God King. And what if you become the God King? Shang Tianyan said. Even then, ancient powers like the Yangfeng Ancient Kingdom and the Lighting Thunder Ancient Kingdom will still far surpass you. On the vast Origin Continent, there will always be someone stronger than you. Sang Shuiyun replied coldly, I am alone in this world. Now, I only wish to cultivate and become stronger. To grow stronger simply for the sake of strength. Shang Tianyan shook his head. You and I are truly different. Of course we are, Sang Shuiyun declared. You are merely an insignificant ripple on the origin continent, while I will be like the vast heavens and earth, ruling over all things. The countless beings of the entire origin continent will be under my influence, and my will alone will decide the life and death of countless souls. Shang Tianyan looked at him. So, are you happy? Sang Shuiyun was taken aback. No matter how powerful you become, no matter how many lives you decide, ask your own heart. If you are still lonely and suffering, then the path you walk is a path of pain. Shang Tianyan gazed at Sang Shuiyun. We have known each other for a long time. I only hope you can find a path that brings your heart liberation and joy, a path where you can face your once beloved with a clear conscience. No matter how the world changes, only your own feelings are real, Shang Tianyan said. Ha ha ha, you're trying to change me. Sang Shuiyun looked at Shang Tianyan. We've known each other for too long. I can see right through you. Yes, I am trying to change you. I know I can't stop you. Even the Yu Kingdom might not be able to kill you. A cultivator as heinous as you truly has the potential to become a chaos master or even a god king. I only hope that one day, a peerless expert will face this world with kindness, not malice. Shang Tianyan looked at Sang Shuiyun. Ha ha ha. Mad laughter filled Sang Shuiyun's eyes. You have your path, and I have mine. What is good or evil? My will is the will of heaven and earth, the will of all living beings. Shang Tianyan shook his head gently. Since you've come, you must have a trump card up your sleeve. Sang Shuiyun stared at him. What is it? No one in all of Huyang City can kill me now, not even General Yang, who is too worried about the countless lives that would be affected. So, is your trump card entrusted to a major faction? How clever, Shang Tianyan said. What kind of trump card have you arranged? Sang Shuiyun glared at him. Tell me, and I might spare your life. Take a guess, Shang Tianyan said, smiling. I can't say for certain that my trump card will kill you, but there's probably a 90% chance. What is it, damn it? Sang Shuiyun's eyes were filled with madness. Let me test your strength. The strength of Divine Lord Shui Yun. Shang Tianyan suddenly threw a punch. He fought barehanded, yet a single punch carried a power that made heaven and earth tremble. Sang Shuiyun stood his ground without moving, letting the punch pierce through his chest. His entire body flowed like a wave of blood. An invisible domain enveloped the entire cave dwelling. Sang Shuiyun, his body now a wave of blood, stared at Shang Tianyan. You've forged your own divine body, refining it like a mechanical type secret treasure. Brother Shang, your crafting skills truly far surpass anyone in Huyang City. You shouldn't die like this. Tell me, what trump card have you left behind? Only by knowing your trump card can I best counter it. He knew Shang Tianyan all too well. Shang Tianyan seemed to enthusiastically befriend countless people and was kind to his sect's numerous disciples, but in terms of scheming, he was no less ruthless than Sang Shuiyun himself. They understood each other perfectly. Do you really think I'll tell you? Shang Tianyan shook his head. Then I can only send you on your way myself. Sang Shuiyun's body transformed into a blood-red wave, completely enveloping Shang Tianyan. Enveloped by the blood wave, Shang Tianyan turned his gaze toward the world. Such a magnificent world, yet you're willing to slaughter and destroy it all, just for a sliver of hope for a breakthrough. Whoosh. The blood wave corroded his body, and Shang Tianyan's form quickly dissolved, his heart of the true god annihilated. Sang Shuiyun stood silently in place. Shang Tianyan was dead, the only friend he had ever had in this world had been killed by his own hand. Anyone who stands in my way deserves to die. Sang Shuiyun's face remained expressionless as he scanned his surroundings. No ambushes at all. It seems you didn't pin your hopes on the experts within Huyang City. Do you intend to use an external force to kill me? With that, a wisp of the power of blood clouds silently slipped into the earth and vanished. This place, after such a battle, was no longer suitable for habitation. In an ordinary dwelling, Uncle Chu, a metallic life form, gazed at the night sky, waiting anxiously. Suddenly, within his karmic communication token, the karmic presence of the sect master, Shang Tianyan, dissipated. Sect master. Uncle Chu's heart trembled. He knew that the sect master had finally died. Without a moment's hesitation, following the sect master's previous arrangements, Uncle Chu immediately sent the secret letters to the 5 targets. In truth, Shang Tianyan had never been absolutely certain that Sang Shuiyun was Shui Yun, so he needed to confirm it. He worried that if he were to die before he could send the news after his confirmation, the information would never get out. Thus, he had asked Uncle Chu to help disseminate the secret letters. In reality, Shang Tianyan had also used the karmic communication token to transmit a more explicit message. At the city lord's mansion, Mo Limeng was managing the aftermath. After all, Divine Lord Shui Yun's slaughter had affected over 8 billion beings, which would have a massive impact on all of Huyang City. If handled poorly, it could incite widespread panic. Mo Limeng first received a message from Shang Tianyan, followed by a secret letter from Uncle Chu. Divine Lord Shui Yun's true identity is Sang Shuiyun. Mo Limeng's expression turned to one of pleasant surprise. This Sang Shuiyun has resided in Huyang City for too long, I've even run into him several times at the Dream Flower Pavilion. Wherever one passes, traces are left behind. The more traces there are, the easier it is to attempt to deduce the heavenly secrets and track his whereabouts. Mo Limeng finished reading Shang Tianyan's complete secret letter. Impressive, Shang Tianyan. He actually possesses a karmic tracking token that contains Sang Shuiyun's karmic imprint. With this karmic tracking token, we can track Sang Shuiyun. Mo Limeng was overjoyed. This makes things much easier. Now that we can track his location, the Marquis can carefully arrange a plan to eliminate him in one fell swoop. Even if his strength rivaled General Yang's. As long as they confirmed his location and prepared in advance, they could mobilize enough powerful forces to completely erase him in a single strike. Shang Tianyan has truly achieved a great feat. Just as Mo Limeng was celebrating, he suddenly noticed that Shang Tianyan's karmic presence on the karmic communication token had vanished. Is he dead? Mo Limeng's heart trembled. His karmic tracking token is stored in the Yangfeng Pavilion. Only my father, Mo Lishao, can retrieve it. Mo Limeng didn't dare hesitate and immediately went to report this information. This was the intelligence Shang Tianyan had left behind with his life. In truth, Sang Shuiyun was extremely cautious. Even though he was best friends with Shang Tianyan, he had never left behind blood or other items that would allow Shang Tianyan to lock onto his karmic presence. However, Sang Shuiyun didn't understand the methods of a master artifact refiner. After their long association, their karmic ties had naturally intertwined. Relying on this karma, Shang Tianyan was able to imprint it onto the karmic tracking token, which could then be used to track Sang Shuiyun's location. In Shang Tianyan's view, as long as Divine Lord Shui Yun continued to cause trouble, the Yu Kingdom might endure it once, but they would never tolerate it a second or third time. Once the Yu Kingdom decided to kill Divine Lord Shui Yun, having the karmic tracking token to pinpoint his location would make the task highly certain. But Shang Tianyan also knew that the future held too many variables. He could only do his best. The Dream Flower Pavilion Master was playing a tune alone in her small tower when she suddenly received a message. The Dream Flower Pavilion Master checked it. The true identity of the Shi Kingdom's leader, Divine Lord Shui Yun, is Sang Shuiyun. At this very moment, the top factions in Huyang City have all learned this news. But rest assured, the City Lord's mansion owes me a great deal, and I have already asked them to look after you. Besides, I have good relations with the other top factions in the city, so they won't trouble you either. If you ever face a truly dire situation in the future and no other faction is reliable, only Divine Lord Luo he can help you. I know his temperament. For my sake, he will help you once. Be sure not to trouble him too much, he hates trouble. Once he grows tired of you, he will no longer care whether you live or die. Don't worry about Sang Shuiyun either, he won't return to the Dream Flower Pavilion. Menghua, your illusion techniques are truly mediocre. Among eternal true gods skilled in illusions, you're at the bottom. You must cultivate diligently from now on. In this world, you can only rely on yourself in the end. This secret message left the Dream Flower Pavilion Master stunned. Shang Tianyan and Sang Shuiyun, these were the only two eternal true gods who were infatuated with her. Tianyan is dead. The Dream Flower Pavilion Master discovered that Shang Tianyan's karmic presence had vanished from her karmic communication token. She stood frozen, her mind reeling as a torrent of thoughts surged through her, leaving her unable to find peace. Inside the cave dwelling, atop the mountain peak, Luo Feng sat cross-legged, cultivating in quiet meditation. He did not use the karmic communication token, nor did he receive any karmic messages. However, he did receive a message from the Dark Hall of the Yangfeng Pavilion. Divine Lord Luo He, it is confirmed that Shang Tianyan has perished. According to his final wishes, the over 3 million cosmic sand he left with the Dark Hall of the Yangfeng Pavilion, along with all his treasures and a secret letter, are to be handed over to you in full. Please come to the Dark Hall of the Yangfeng Pavilion to collect them in person. This message left Luo Feng stunned. Shang Tianyan, confirmed dead. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 59, My Only Friend. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. Brother Shang is dead. Luo Feng murmured softly. Luo Feng had witnessed countless life and death struggles throughout his journey. Back on Earth, he had seen heroes sacrifice their lives for their planet. Later, as the human race rose in the original Primordial universe, he watched many figures, including founder Giant Axe, perish one by one. Having endured so much, Luo Feng's heart had long since become incredibly resilient. How did Shang Tianyan die? Luo Feng sent a message to the Dark Hall of the Yangfeng Pavilion. This information is worth 1 cosmic sand, the Dark Hall replied. Because the news was spreading rapidly, the Yangfeng Pavilion had set a relatively low price. I'll buy this information, Luo Feng replied. Tonight, Sheng Tianyan went to the battlefield where General Yang and Divine Lord Xueyun were fighting. Afterward, he returned to the Tianyan sect to make arrangements and then met with the Dream Flower Pavilion master. After that, he went to see Sang Xueyun alone. A battle broke out at Sang Xueyun's residence. During the fight, he used a karmic communication token to send out information, confirming that Sang Xueyun was indeed Divine Lord Xueyun. The battle lasted only a breath's time. Sheng Tianyan died, and Sang Xueyun escaped and vanished, the Dark Hall reported. Luo Feng understood. Brother Sheng, you didn't tell me about this because you were worried I'd get involved. Luo Feng murmured. That blood cloud god monarch poses no threat to me, I am capable of killing him. It had been over 20 epochs since Luo Feng arrived on the Origin continent. Sheng Tianyan was his only true friend. Although he knew many eternal true gods, they were all mere acquaintances. The only one he truly admired and considered a real friend was Sheng Tianyan. He remembered their first meeting. Back then, he was a nobody, just an ordinary person in the Dream Flower Pavilion. The renowned eternal true gods wouldn't even spare him a glance, yet Sheng Tianyan was the only one who proactively and warmly befriended him. Sheng Tianyan hadn't cared about his strength or status, he had simply been genuinely friendly. Upon their first meeting, he had even gifted Luo Feng intelligence on Huyang City, warning him of its dangers. Over the long 20 epochs, Luo Feng had always been the one asking for help, seeking Sheng Tianyan's guidance on the mysteries of body refining. The only time Sheng Tianyan had ever urgently asked for a favor was when he begged Luo Feng to save his friend's children. You've never asked me for a favor for yourself, Luo Feng said, his gaze fixed on the distance. Morosa immediately sensed the change in his master's eyes. Follow me, Luo Feng commanded. Yes, master. Morosa noticed the unusual intensity in Luo Feng's gaze, a look he hadn't seen since arriving on the Origin continent. Whoosh. Steering the flying boat, Luo Feng took Morosa directly to the dark hall of the Yangfeng Pavilion. Inside the city lord's mansion, Mo Lixiao, the city lord of Huyang, and the white-haired elder were gathered here. As the supreme commander of the Huyang Legion, Mo Lixiao could directly traverse the void. He had already made a trip to the Yangfeng Pavilion to retrieve the karmic tracking token. This is the karmic tracking token left by Sheng Tianyan, Mo Lixiao said, holding up the token. With this, we can pinpoint Divine Lord Xueyun's location. Sheng Tianyan has performed a great service, the city lord of Huyang remarked. A pity he is already dead, the white-haired elder said, shaking his head. Mo Lixiao replied calmly, now, we just have to wait for the Marquise's arrangements. Divine Lord Xueyun is too powerful. Even General Yang couldn't do anything about him without the help of the Huyang City Great Formation, the city lord of Huyang said solemnly. With such strength, killing Divine Lord Xueyun will be extremely difficult. The white-haired elder nodded. In the entire Zhujiang Chaos Prefecture, none of the Marquise's subordinates can compare to General Yang. The most terrifying eternal true gods of the Yu Kingdom almost all follow the 5 god kings, Mo Lixiao said. Without a special reason, why would they come to a place like Huyang City? The resources a god king could bestow were naturally far superior to those of a chaos master. This was why the 5 god kings had attracted such a vast number of powerful followers. Experts of General Yang's level were naturally more inclined to follow a god king. True. If the Marquis wishes to mobilize forces, he would likely need to bring in experts from elsewhere, the city lord of Huyang nodded. This isn't something that can be resolved in a short time. The 2 divine kingdoms had a tacit understanding regarding their conflicts. In a typical conflict, no matter how many eternal true gods died, it was simply attributed to a lack of strength. This was considered a low-intensity conflict. But if a chaos master were to enter the fray one day, the intensity of the war would become far more terrifying. Even the mere shockwaves would claim countless lives, and eternal true gods wouldn't even dare to get involved. Whichever side's chaos master emerged victorious would naturally secure the win. As for the god kings, the possibility of them personally intervening was extremely low. Once they acted, the consequences would be far-reaching. Even the major divine kingdoms of the Origin continent would take notice and might even intervene. Without absolute certainty, a god king would never enter the battlefield. These ancient beings were all after cultivation resources. Without a guaranteed victory, they would never fight a life and death struggle. Just like when the Shi kingdom annihilated the Jin kingdom, once they acted, they gave the god king of Jin no chance to resist. They completely wiped out all the powerhouses in the Jin kingdom capital, leaving the god king of Jin to flee into the cosmic sea in disarray. The Marquis has sent an order, the white-haired elder's eyes lit up. As the leader of the Zhang clan in Huyang City, he was naturally the one to receive the command. What is it? City Lord of Huyang and Mo Lixiao asked. The Marquise's order is simple, Increase the bounties on Divine Lord Shui Yun, Yu Tianyu, and Yu Tianyi, the white-haired elder said. The city lord of Huyang understood. It seems he's pinning his hopes on the bounties to attract some terrifying powerhouses to take action. Borrowing power also takes time. If a powerhouse accepts the bounty and kills Divine Lord Shui Yun and the others, that would be a good thing, Mo Lixiao said. I've heard that the two ancient kingdoms and some mysterious major factions on the Origin Continent also have elites they're cultivating, who travel all over the Origin Continent. If they discover a high bounty, they might come to Huyang City. How much is the bounty? City Lord of Huyang pressed. The Marquis has ordered the bounty on Divine Lord Shui Yun to be raised to 10 million cosmic sand. Yu Tianyu's bounty is raised to 2 million, and Yu Tianyi's to 1 million, the white-haired elder said. Mo Lixiao and the City Lord of Huyang City were both stunned. As expected of the Marquis. He always made such grand gestures. The Marquis held the entire Zhujiang Chaos Prefecture as his fief, encompassing 3 major cities and 189 ordinary cities. All residents had to pay a residency fee. While the amount each individual paid was small, the cumulative sum was astronomical. After deducting the costs of running the cities, a portion was paid to the God Kings, and the rest went to Marquis Zhujiang. In just a single epoch, the entire Zhujiang Chaos Prefecture could generate an immense amount of wealth. 10 million cosmic sand. To Marquis Zhujiang, it was truly a trifle. He would rather spend cosmic sand on a bounty than trouble a god king with such a minor matter. In Ru Kingdom alone, there are over a dozen openly known experts on par with General Yang, and 3 or 4 who are even more brilliant, the white-haired elder said. Not to mention the elites cultivated by the major factions on the Origin Continent. With a bounty of 10 million cosmic sand, I believe we'll attract enough powerful experts within an epoch. Luo Feng steered his flying boat to the dark hall of the Yangfeng Pavilion. Brother Luo He, the vice pavilion master of the Yangfeng Pavilion, greeted him personally. These are all the items Shang Tianyan left for you. As he spoke, he handed over a jade bottle. Luo Feng took it and looked inside. He saw over 3 million cosmic sand, as well as a large amount of materials, weapons, secret treasures, and other items. The most prominent was a letter. Brother Luo He, by the time you see this letter, I should already be dead. You don't need to grieve for me. In fact, when I returned to my hometown of Huyang City alone, I never intended to survive. Later, it was some of the little ones in the city who touched me. At the time, I thought to myself, just consider me dead. I'll spend the remaining days doing something meaningful and make every day count. I've left all the resources I accumulated throughout my life to you. I ask for nothing in return. Because of your hatred for evil and your willingness to stand up for the weak, you are already everything I hoped for. After returning to Huyang City for so long and meeting so many friends, you are the one I admire most, Brother Luo He. The path of cultivation is arduous. You must take care of yourself. If you face a formidable enemy, there is no shame in bowing your head and being cautious. The key is to survive. Only by surviving do you have the chance to defeat your enemies. Sometimes, surviving is harder than dying. My life has come to an end. I wish you, Brother Luo He, my friend, can achieve all you desire and feel that every day from now on is well spent. This letter was merely an old friend's rambling, yet it only served to deepen Luo Feng's heartache. Brother Shang, you are the only friend I've made since arriving on the Origin Continent, Luo Feng thought silently. And the only one I truly admire. Rest assured, you gave your life to expose Divine Lord Shui Yun's true identity. I swear to you, he will die. There is no escape for him. Luo Feng turned and walked away. The vice pavilion master of Yangfeng Pavilion watched this scene unfold. This Divine Lord Luo He and Shang Tianyan have an unusual relationship. But Divine Lord Shui Yun is also someone not to be trifled with. Whoosh. After leaving Yangfeng Pavilion, Luo Feng took Morosa, who had been waiting outside, and immediately steered the flying vessel away. Master, Morosa said, looking at Luo Feng. Luo Feng gazed at Huyang City, shrouded in the darkness of night. I recall you can track any life aura you've encountered before. Sang Shuiyun and I have met more than once. Can you find him? Morosa transmitted his thoughts. Master, rest assured. Unless he possesses a perfect divine body that can completely isolate his aura, I will definitely lock onto it once we are close enough. We'll search the entire Huyang City first. Luo Feng declared. I'll steer the flying vessel, you focus on sensing and tracking. Yes, Morosa replied. Luo Feng immediately steered the flying vessel, flying at high speed over the various districts of Huyang City, while Morosa carefully sensed each area. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent Retranslated. Volume 1, Arrival. Chapter 60, Just You Alone. Author, I Eat Tomatoes Wo Kai Shi Hong Shi. Translator, Shadow Knight Ak. Editor, Shadow Knight Ak. While Luo Feng was quietly searching the city, the various factions in Huyang City were thrown into turmoil. Whether it was the local families, dark forces, branches of major powers, or even the reclusive and idle eternal true gods, everyone was shocked upon learning the news. Great General Yang Hu of the Yu Kingdom's capital personally took action against Divine Lord Shui Yun, yet he couldn't even defeat him. Divine Lord Shui Yun affected 8 billion living beings before escaping. Sect Master Shang Tianyan of the Tianyan sect sacrificed himself to reveal Divine Lord Shui Yun's true identity. It was actually Sang Shuiyun. The bounty on Divine Lord Shui Yun has reached 10 million cosmic sand, Yu Tianyu's bounty is 2 million cosmic sand, and Yu Tianyu's bounty is 1 million cosmic sand. Each of these three pieces of news was explosive. It had been a very long time since Huyang City had been in such an uproar. An existence like General Yang was counted among the top eternal true gods in the entire Yu Kingdom. And Divine Lord Shui Yun could actually rival him. In such a short time, Huyang City had gathered two such powerful beings. A bounty as high as 10 million cosmic sand. This already proves Divine Lord Shui Yun's strength. All parties marveled at this. They were greedy and tempted, but not a single one dared to even dream of obtaining this bounty. Tianyan sect. Countless disciples were gathered in the vast, open plaza. Among you, those with reliable sources must already know, the sect master is dead. Uncle Chu, a metallic life form, addressed the sea of disciples. According to the sect master's final arrangements, the Tianyan sect is officially disbanded. You must all leave the sect grounds no later than tomorrow. Murmur. The disciples erupted in a wave of commotion. Master. Sect master. Many disciples broke down in tears. The sect master had always given opportunities to weaker true gods, allowing them to join the Tianyan sect as long as they passed his trials. Within the sect, regardless of one's noble status, all had to undergo rigorous training, experience, and selection. Only those who passed every test could become a personal disciple. Even with such strict requirements, the sect master had over 300 personal disciples, an exceptionally rare feat among eternal true gods. The sect master never withheld knowledge. If a disciple showed the aptitude to learn, he would teach them everything he knew without reservation. Master. Some disciples were so overcome with emotion that they couldn't accept it. Many of them had struggled just to survive in this world before joining the Tianyan sect. Their master never discriminated against them, treating them all equally and giving them the chance to learn the technique of artifact forging, which completely changed their fates. To many of these disciples, their master was the person who had treated them with the greatest kindness in the entire world. How did master die? Who killed master? Revenge. We must have revenge. Many disciples were visibly agitated. Uncle Chu, a metallic life form, looked at the gathered disciples and said, the sect master sacrificed his life to expose Divine Lord Shui Yun's true identity and was killed by him. Even the city lord's mansion is currently powerless against Divine Lord Shui Yun. The bounty on his head has reached a staggering 10 million cosmic sand. All the disciples fell silent. 10 million cosmic sand. Living in Huyang City, a true god only needed to pay 1 chaos crystal per epoch. Many true gods simply earned enough for their living expenses and avoided venturing out on dangerous adventures, accumulating only 2 or 3 chaos crystals. Even a void true god typically only had a few tens of thousands of chaos crystals in their savings. And even the exalted eternal true gods, aside from the resources they consumed for their own cultivation, generally only possessed treasures worth 1 or 2,000 cosmic sand. A single, precious mechanical type secret treasure was worth around 1 million cosmic sand, enough to create a terrifying being like President Blood Python. The bounty alone was a staggering 10 million cosmic sand. This alone demonstrated Divine Lord Shui Yun's overwhelming power. Even some eternal true gods wouldn't dare accept such a massive fortune, as it would surely invite disaster. Alright, everyone, pack up quickly and leave as soon as possible. Uncle Chu turned and walked away. Countless disciples fell silent. Grief, indignation, and a sense of powerlessness. Many of them were deeply grateful to the sect master and would have gladly sacrificed their lives to avenge him. But their enemy was too terrifying, too powerful, so powerful that it left these disciples in utter despair. My master is dead, Mo Yu Luxing said, tears streaming down his face. During his time at the Tianyan sect, he had truly admired and revered his master, Shang Tianyan. Beside him, Mo Yusheng was consumed by agony. She had followed her master even longer. I have no master anymore. I have no master anymore, Mo Yusheng murmured softly. A wave of sorrow enveloped the countless disciples across the plaza. They lingered for a long time, unable to bring themselves to leave. Luo Feng steered the flying vessel, soaring through the night sky of Huyang City at high speed. Morosa carefully sensed his surroundings. As a world beast, he was a unique life form, a perfect being who possessed the great Tao of destruction origin. In terms of life level, he could rival the original primordial universe. A world beast's body could nurture a vast army of warriors, each endowed with various inconceivable abilities. These were powers he possessed by nature. However, at Luo Feng's request, Morosa had completely converted his power into divine power. Outside the Star Tower, he never used his world beast abilities. The aura. Morosa's ability to sense and track auras was far superior to Luo Feng's. This was because Luo Feng was essentially one of the countless eternal true gods. Morosa, however, was a world beast disguising his power as divine power. He was incredibly sensitive to all divine power auras in the external world. Master, Morosa suddenly spoke, I've detected Tiān and her subordinates to the left. When she led 4 of them to attack the Forbidden Zone last time, I memorized their auras. Tiān and her subordinates. Luo Feng nodded slightly. No rush. Continue searching the city. Capturing Divine Lord Shui Yun is the priority. Taking action against Tiān now would likely alert them. Yes. Morosa nodded and resumed the search. Time slowly passed. As Luo Feng piloted the flying vessel, he also gathered intelligence through the Yangfang Pavilion's dark hall. The bounty is quite high, raised to 10 million. It seems the Yu Kingdom won't be sending top experts immediately. Luo Feng understood that if a group of top-tier powerhouses was dispatched, there would be no need to increase the bounty so drastically. Luo Feng had accepted the bounties for Divine Lord Shui Yun, Tiān, and Tiān. The amounts themselves gave him an idea of their relative strengths. Time flowed on. We've scoured all of Huyang City. The flying vessel came to a halt. Luo Feng looked at Morosa. Still no sign of Sang Shuiyun. No, Morosa shook his head in confusion. I've sensed many places more than once, leaving no blind spots in the entire city. Unless he's been moving at high speed this whole time, just happened to avoid me. Otherwise, there's only one possibility, he's not in Huyang City. Luo Feng frowned slightly. Not in Huyang City. This is bad. This Sang Shuiyun is truly cautious, Luo Feng thought silently. He realized that killing Sang Shuiyun would be no easy feat. This leader of the Shi Kingdom's forces, who had long been hiding in Huyang City, had even concealed most of his strength for ages. His identity had always been a mystery until Shang Tianyan's recent move finally revealed it. And the moment his identity was exposed, he had already fled Huyang City. Let's deal with Tiān first, Luo Feng said. Starting with her might lead us to Sang Shuiyun. The 3 of them have an unusual relationship, they're the 3 core powerhouses of the Shi Kingdom's forces. They should have a way to contact each other, Morosa agreed, nodding. Whoosh. The flying vessel traced an arc through the sky, heading straight for the location where they had previously detected Tiān's aura. Inside a very ordinary cave dwelling, Tiān, and 3 eternal true gods were gathered. To think that Divine Lord Shui Yun's true identity is actually Sang Shuiyun, Tiān said with a light laugh. Even we didn't know his identity, but this time, Shang Tianyan exposed it. Marquis Zhujiang is truly furious. He raised the bounty on Shui Yun to 10 million cosmic sand, while mine is only 2 million, Tiān shook his head. The gap between him and me couldn't be that large. By the way, little sister, your team encountered Luo He. He even destroyed your ice body. Tiān nodded. I feel his strength is slightly greater than mine. But with the Huyang City Great Formation suppressing me, I could only exert a portion of my power, so naturally, I was no match for him. Suddenly. Boom. The entire hall they were in shattered to pieces. Tiān, and the 3 eternal true gods beside them looked up and saw a figure with 6 pairs of dazzling golden wings spread wide. The surrounding buildings were crumbling, melting into wisps of chaotic airflow. Countless chaotic currents spread everywhere, suppressing the 5 of them. Luo He. Tiān exclaimed in shock. Luo He is here. Could General Yang have arrived as well? Tiān was also stunned. Though confident, he knew he was no match for the renowned General Yang, especially within Huyang City, where he lacked the confidence to even face the general. The moment Luo Feng appeared, he unleashed the Shi Wu Wing, seizing control of the chaos. Morosa, I'm in the open, you're in the shadows. Don't let a single one of these eternal true gods escape. Luo Feng transmitted his thoughts. Rest assured, Master, Morosa replied, hiding in the darkness. With a single stride, Luo Feng closed in on Tiān, and the 3 eternal true gods. The 5 of them were also scanning their surroundings. Just you alone? Tiān asked, his voice laced with suspicion as he warily searched the area, fearing great General Yang who might emerge. I alone am enough. Luo Feng said, his gaze sweeping over the 5 of them. Tell me, where is Shui Yun? What gives you the guts to come here alone? Tiān sneered. In all of Huyang City, only General Yang commanded his respect. He held no regard for any other eternal true god. Tiān stood there, her entire body radiating an endless frigid aura. The boundless icy power began to resist the chaos domain. In terms of domains, Tiān was also an expert, her power rivaling that of the chaos domain. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Luo Feng waved his hand, and a surging wave of crimson blood swept in all directions. The endless blood waves, unleashed by Luo Feng's perfect divine power driving the mechanical type secret treasure, the river of life and blood, combined with the chaos domain to instantly shatter the boundless icy power. The waves completely enveloped Yu Tianyu, Yu Tianyi, and the three eternal true gods. What is this? Yu Tianyu and Yu Tianyi were shocked. In terms of subtlety, these endless blood waves were indeed inferior to Divine Lord Shui Yun's, but in terms of quality, they were nearly identical. With the combined suppression of the chaos domain and the endless blood waves, Yu Tianyu and Yu Tianyi's strength was severely crippled. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As for the three pitiful eternal true gods, they were instantly swept by the blood waves to Luo Feng's side. Luo Feng looked at them. Spare our lives. Spare our lives. The three were utterly powerless. Back then, the Blood Python president had been completely suppressed by Luo Feng's chaos domain alone. Now, facing this double suppression, how could these three top eternal true gods possibly resist? Tell me, where is Shui Yun? Luo Feng stared at the three of them. Divine Lord Shui Yun has always been extremely cautious. He only summons us when it's time to act. Normally, we can't find him at all, one eternal true god said urgently. Yes, we only found out today that the Divine Lord's true identity is Sang Shuiyun. Before this, we knew nothing. We don't know where the Divine Lord is now. He would never tell us. The three eternal true gods were all terrified. Luo Feng listened, thinking that with Divine Lord Shui Yun's cautious nature, it would be strange if his three subordinates could find him. Then you are of no use, Luo Feng said. The three eternal true gods, engulfed in the blood waves, suddenly showed expressions of horror. The blood waves that had penetrated their bodies had already shattered their hearts of the true god. Their three corpses were then stored inside the Star Tower. Luo Feng looked at Yu Tianyu and Yu Tianyi. What about you? Do you know where Divine Lord Shui Yun is? End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.